I'm Nick Marra, and this is After the Turns. Welcome to our most controversial episode of After the Turns. Maybe not. Maybe our second most. The Steve Durham one was the first one, but I can only imagine that this one will rival that. I don't know. What an exciting episode! I'm excited to talk about it. And we've got a couple of the main players. We've got Danson, we've got Matt, and we've got Andrew Faryniarz. Did I say it right?
Pretty damn close.
Did I say it right, Andrew? Like, honestly, give me an honest on that.
That was pretty damn close. I'm not gonna lie. So,
okay,
great to be here. Thanks for having me, guys.
Yeah, we're so excited to have you. I almost feel bad. I think Matt's idea this week is to have this go until about 6 a.m. because of all the topics we have to discuss. So I guess we're gonna have to go.
Sick of work tomorrow now.
Exactly. I'm like, I was when Matt sent me a text about 2 hours ago saying this is going to be a really long episode. I just took an hour and a half nap before hopping on out of fear. So I guess I'm ready just in case. Yeah, I had to. So. Well, we're so excited to have you, Drew. The GOAT, I guess we'll get into it in a bit. But, you came on an episode where we have so much to talk about because we have to go right into it. And I know the fans are all shocked back at home because I'm not going first this week. We were so shocked that Matt was confused for 5 minutes as to why I kept saying Danson was going first and not me. And it's because he did finish the lowest. So we're going to get into it right away. Danson, tell us about your race. I'm so excited because the only time I really saw you was when you and all of your teammates passed me multiple times at the back of the pack together. So how did it go? And let's talk about it.
There might be some updates coming through. My race was it started off really well actually. I qualified P2. Which is good for me because I normally choke quality real bad. I still choked a little bit, but not enough this time, which was good. Race started off nicely, and it was just I almost felt like I was starting to just gain back towards Andrew a little bit just before the first yellow, and then thanks Sam. Oh, actually, that's a good point. I was really surprised that Sam wasn't up there because he had been hot lapping so fast during the week when he was showing me times, all that sort of different things. So, anyway, so the first yellow, I sort of felt like I was starting to make gains, and then after that first restart, I couldn't get back in the rhythm 100% until just before the second yellow. And then that was pretty much the end of my race. The second yellow is where my race ended because we came down pit road, and I think like 32 other cars didn't. And so, restarted way back. Well, Andrew, I'm pretty sure you came with us at that time, didn't you?
Yeah. That was hectic. Yeah. The tires didn't matter as much as I thought they would. I'm sure you felt that as well.
Yeah, big time. And so, I mean, they were good, but by the time we passed 30 cars, they weren't so good anymore. But yeah, so that pretty much just for me, like we made our way back up. I think Drew got to the front, Seth as well, was digging, and I kind of buried myself around about 5th or 6th, and just got stuck behind Jeremy, and then it just started going kind of pear-shaped from there, and then ultimately we had that last stop where a bunch of us took tires. So Cozy and Seth, they stayed out. I came down pit road with Andrew, I think Brandon. I'm pretty sure Eberhardt came down as well. I think those two guys might have got 2 tires. I could be wrong. But then it was just a matter of, I just kept restarting on the outside, and then we would restart single file, and all that sort of stuff was going on, and got punted, and then things really started to unravel from there.
Let's go to that. Let's watch it because this one was determined netcode, which I know you weren't happy about. We'll go in slow-mo here. We're about mid-pack there. You're kind of settling in there on the restart. And I mean, I see contact there. I mean, I thought it was pretty deliberate on the replay right here. If anything, it was maybe inches of net code, like not even. I don't know. So I guess what is your thought when watching the replay here? I'm sure you have.
I mean, yeah, it's net code in the sense that we've all connected into a server and we're racing online. So yeah, definitely there's net code there. But I mean, it's pretty straightforward as far as I was concerned. But this one actually pains me more because I just wish that I'd just been like, you know what, it's just one of those classic RSR sort of deals, and just been a little bit more. I think, like, so for me, to be honest with you, the reason why this situation ticked me off, because of the fact that that was immediately on the green flag, and the yellow had come out, like the previous yellow that we're just restarting from had come out just after, I think we would like going down the front stretch. So we just run through turn 3 and 4 where the same driver had basically ran me over in 3, and I saw him coming, saw him in the mirror, like overdriving entry, and so I just gassed it up and drove out to the outside wall to avoid getting killed, right? And so then I was like, oh, he like I said to him, oh, you must have got sent into the corner, I guess, right? And he was just like, no, like I just missed my braking marker. I was like, oh, okay, 10-4. He won't do that again, sort of thing. And then immediately the next restart, he just barrels in there and sends me. So it was just kind of frustrating because it's like me personally, at least, like if you make an initial mistake, then the next corner you're gonna like be actively avoiding having anything remotely like that happening again. You know what I mean? You're not just gonna try and, otherwise it makes the apology kind of hollow. But so that was that. I think that's particularly why I was extra annoyed, and also I suppose as well, to be fair, because of the qualifying P2 and the pressure build-up of needing to get a friggin' oval win, and like I knew I had speed at this track, but I just keep burying myself in traffic. I think the culmination of all those different factors was why I lost my cool a little bit.
I guess I'm sorry if I've been getting in your head, Danson. Do I have to take the blame for this one? I mean, I told you.
No, that's on me.
Yeah.
You guys pressure him into wrecking now. You got all the power in the world.
And then the repeated comments about winning on an oval.
Well, my opinion on that is just looking at it for the first time. That looked like contact to me. As someone who's not a great racer, I know that I was surprised I didn't. Was that a restart? Was that right after?
That was on the restart in the 1. Yeah.
So my fear was I was going to do that to people, by just if the tires are, when the tires are a little worn and you're having the restart on worn tires, just being able to like totally miss my braking point. That's what I did at Phoenix when I wrecked, I don't know, somebody. Was because of that. So I thought that's not, I'm not super surprised that happened. But yeah, my opinion, it definitely looked like you got sent there. So
yeah, and
speaking of accidents for Phoenix, just kidding, of course.
Oh, true. To be fair,
continue, Danson. Yeah, we're not getting into that. So go ahead, Danson.
He did say afterwards, like, because at first he was like, oh, he said something about he thought I got sideways and then he got into me, and I was like, nah, man. But he did say after the race, once he got a chance to look at it, he did sort of say, well, yeah, I apologize, I did get into you. So yeah, like to his credit, he did say
that's
that.
Better than nothing. Yeah,
exactly. So kudos to him for that. It was just unfortunate.
So obviously we have to talk about the end of the race. That we haven't got to, that resulted in a 2-race suspension that's currently being reviewed. I think we're watching the Discord chat. I see Sam Nieto's 2-point penalty has been reversed. So I think we're hoping something happening with your appeal here that we'll be able to break here during the episode. I know you did submit an appeal, so hopefully we'll hear something. But let's watch it. I know a lot of people didn't see what happened to cause the suspension. I'm sure I'm sure Danson, you're very eager to show everyone what happened, so we'll go to it on the last lap.
The more he laughs, the more guilty it looks.
Wait,
Yeah,
pause for a second.
well,
Pause.
We need background here. Hold on.
Yeah.
Okay.
Bit of context. So this is why I don't make any audacious moves, because I generally don't know what I'm doing. And to be fair, this was very what's the word I'm looking for here? Optimistic. So my plan was just to use him up, and because essentially, like, although it's not a win or anything like that, I was like, at least I can even the score by taking back the position that I had. I'm redressing it. I'm putting it back to how it was, making it all well in the world. So my plan was to try and use him up, kind of bounce off him, straighten myself up, and I thought maybe he probably loses the position to these two guys. But we sort of essentially what I thought would happen is we'd basically swap positions as we are on the track right now, right? With me behind, I think that's Joseph and might be Nicholas. I think is the other car.
Joe Theis. So Theis.
Okay,
So
yeah.
So in case you were wondering where Dominic is in the screen, he's actually the third car.
Oh my God!
Wow,
You drove it in that deep and hit him.
wow! I can't wait to see.
Oh,
I
boy.
cannot
Can
wait
we
to
play
see how
this
they
now?
drive it in there. Holy smokes!
I thought he was hitting the two cars in front of him.
Okay, here we're gonna play it. We're gonna play it. We're gonna play it.
Yeah.
In slow motion too, of course, to emphasize.
Oh boy. Look, clean as.
Oh,
and I thought, okay, we're on here. Uh-oh.
Oh my God!
No! Oh no!
Wow.
I'm gonna say that was aggressive.
Yeah, okay, but watch. But the whole time, it's not like I don't make like an actual beeline for him. I'm trying to wheel it down there, and then it just doesn't really, yeah. And then
So I yeah, that is a Steve Durham move. That is totally true. He definitely he knows he definitely knows about that. So so I have a question. So what do you think happens? Let's say you make this move, you bounce into him. I'm trying to see where you hit him. I guess I would assume you'd have to hit him a little more forward. So yeah, I don't know.
we would make full
turn a little bit more at that point for that to work, I think.
So let's say you hit him, he goes up the track and he loses like 6 spots. You don't get suspended for that, do you? No, right?
Yeah, I don't know. Because I mean, ultimately, he did only lose about that many. I think he lost like 6 or 7. And then, like I said, so my thing from here is I'm like, oh boy, and so I just turn the car around and drive straight into the pit lane because I was like that didn't work.
Okay. That's where I pass. That's where I pass. I was like, well, that's nuts. Okay.
I will say though, when you get on that flat, the transition between the flat and the banking, it does get tight. But that, I mean, you overshot that by a country mile.
I went in super deep. Yeah.
I could see why they banned you on that, but I don't know.
Yeah, I don't think the question. Matt, are you expecting the suspension to be lifted with your appeal or just reduced?
I think. Hang on.
You got to be careful to what you say if we're waiting for an announcement to come out. Maybe
I'm just looking at. I think that's William in the thing. I think he said barely. I thought it was a victimless crime, but yeah. My thing is it's because the ruling that it fell under was 2-11 intentional wrecking, right?
Yeah.
Like I feel like the more appropriate category, I suppose, is 2-10, which like is avoidable contact, because it was a negligent move, it was dumb, and ultimately, it was absolutely avoidable, but it wasn't hi Ross, it wasn't like I full throttled him to like the intention wasn't to just send him into the moon. You know what I mean? And I guess as well, like, I don't know. It's like I don't know, Ross, Brian, I don't know, Steve, nah.
It don't look too favorable, Danson. It don't look like you sent that thing in there and just killed him.
Oh yeah,
it don't look good.
Like I said, my thing was I was using him as the to help.
He brings too many AI in like the console games. That's what it is. I thought they just wouldn't move when he hit them.
But yeah, I don't know. It was a disappointing day. Yesterday, like after the fact. So, I think like, at the time, because Dominic said something, I can't remember what he said. I was exiting the car at the time he was talking. So, but then, I had a lot of bravado at the time, that sort of thing. More so, I guess, trying to hide the embarrassment of just the whole sequence of events that unfolded. And, the rest of the day after that was like, just even in real life sort of terms, was really, it's kind of a bummer. Like I was embarrassed. Like, I don't know. It was just so weird. Like I don't even want to, like the race broadcast came up on my suggestion on YouTube, and I don't even want to watch it just because it's like NAM flashbacks sort of thing. It's just like a sad thing. I don't know. I just feel really embarrassed. I'm embarrassed for like obviously myself, because when I was thinking about it and when I sent off my thing to Evan, like I look at the fact that because we did those stats, right, where in whatever it is, 26, 27 races, whatever it is,
you caused one accident.
Yeah, which was the technical issue at Daytona, right? And I don't know. It was unfortunate. It was dumb. I should have just gone, you know what? I'm in this position. This is where I'm at. It doesn't really matter if I finish, 4 positions ahead and I feel like I've like evened, the situation. It doesn't really matter in the grand scheme of things, and just, swallowed the disappointment, as I have done in other races, whether it was, Phoenix, Charlotte, whatever the case is, all those other ones where I keep getting junked. So anyway.
To be fair, I mean, other people lost their cool. New Hampshire is almost racing like a short track to a point with this package. Yeah. There were a lot of angry people at the race, and you're not the only one who got suspended. I think we'll let everybody else talk about their race before we get into the other suspension. But you're not the only one. You've apologized. You have a good record with RSR. Everybody gets frustrated once in a while unless they get a hold of them. So I'd say don't beat yourself up too much about it, and we'll move on. I'm sure you're excited for Watkins. Well, what am I talking about?
Wow, you're excited to get off. Oh my God,
I'm burning already. Did it on accident. Yeah. Oops. Well, we'll wait for the appeal.
True with that, but Danson, if look on the bright side, if for some reason this doesn't get overturned, you can I'll give you my username and password. And remember, we were talking about yeah, you could be my ringer now. Yeah, you could be my ringer. This is you do?
Okay. Well, maybe I should. I don't know if I should tell this story. So back in the day, a situation like that did actually occur, where like I filled in for a friend was like, hey, can you run this league race for me? And I did it. It was at Sonoma, and I basically lapped everyone up to like P2, I think, or P3, and this guy normally would be kind of back in the field a little bit.
Oh no!
Oh boy!
Well, at what lap they realized that maybe he wasn't driving the car?
I don't know, because at first I was like kind of trying to. I was like, oh, I'll just kind of drive like him and just like get him a good result, but then just. Be there because he had like something else on, whatever, family thing or something, I think. Yeah. But and so I was like, oh, just but then like Sonoma is like my favorite track in the whole service, right? And and then it was like I'd started to pull out a little bit of a lead accidentally, and then I was like, man, what do I do here? Do I like just try and throttle it back or whatever? And then I was like, I mean, we're kind of too deep in now, whatever. Might as well just, embrace it. And so that's, I went for it. And then, they did they did an investigation afterwards, whatever. And yeah.
Did they find out?
Yeah, they found out. Yeah. He got, I think they suspended him. They suspended him for like a year or something. And then,
oh my God.
I don't know. I mean, if I could win the Clash, I'm pretty sure I can win at Watkins Glen. They take a very similar driving.
Yeah.
So your mistake was telling everyone, though.
Yeah, exactly.
No, Nick's already started practicing at Watkins Glen. He's been practicing for about a month and a half. And he decided that.
You're right. I've actually been practicing Watkins Glen for the past 2 months, every single day, 10 hours a day. Wait and see what happens in a couple weeks when I'm up there on the pole, win the race, lap the field. It's been the plan the whole time. So Danson's so scared. He's like, I need to wreck Dominic out and get suspended because I don't want to get beat. Yeah, it's exactly what it is.
And for everyone who's concerned, Nick, after a win, still won't be in the top 25 in points. He won't even be close. So he won't be eligible for the playoffs. So those on the bubble, don't worry. It's not going to impact the playoffs.
So just give me a win then. This is just give me a win, and everybody just ignore it and pretend it didn't happen. That's exactly what we do. I guess is there anything else?
I think we can move off Danson. I think, Nick, you were the next best finisher, and you actually had a pretty solid run for the second half of the race.
Yeah, it was. I probably won't be too long. We talk about Hot Girl Summer, but it hit a peak over the weekend. Because I was not in town. I was in Boston. When you go to 2 concerts in the same night and then the next day you go to New Hampshire for the race, it's a miracle that I have a voice right now. But that also meant that while I was watching the cars in person, I did not get any practice. I got home about an hour before the race started. So with no practice, never done a lap. And then it really, really, really showed. And then of course I was with my friends this past weekend and they wanted to watch me race. And I was like, well, this is not good because I might not even make the field. So we had a lot of we had 6 new viewers for the shit show. So, it was a lot of fun there. So maybe like a record high. So, thank you for all the action you guys provided. It was really fantastic. I ran pretty much just in the back. There's really nothing to say. I could barely keep pace for the first half of the race. Just trying to put a lap together without crashing. Then everybody started crashing. I really didn't crash at all. I didn't run into anybody. I didn't get suspended. Danson, if I had wrecked one person, I would have been suspended with you. We both could have been suspended together for Watkins Glen. That was my peer. Yeah, really great.
All that practice to be wasted.
Yeah, exactly. 2 months of practice. Yeah. That we could have had, where we just sitting back and watching Watkins Glen, such an exciting race to watch, no cautions. Last lap, I don't know what happened on the last lap to crash. I almost made it through the just diabolical crash. I hear Danson's cat in the background.
Can you actually hear that?
It's so loud. He's so loud.
Really
he's so
upset.
Yeah, he's really upset about the suspension. He really wants you to race at Watkins Glen. And he really doesn't want you racing on my account in 2 weeks. But made it through the end, finished 26th. So at least my friends told me I did a quote unquote good job when actually I ran like shit and just somehow survived at the end. So that was pretty much it. Nothing too interesting. I just was happy I didn't crash.
I think there's a point in the race where I think it was on that long run where we were praying for a caution. Everybody's complaining in the Discord, oh, too many cautions. It's like, well, there's a point in the beginning of the race. We had the long run. I shouldn't say a long run, but we put like 20 laps on the tires. Caution comes out, and I think like 8 or 9 guys pitted, and everybody else stayed out, including Nick and I. And I think there was a point there where Nick and I were running like 38th and 40th. Like maybe like a third of the race into the race.
Okay, now to be fair, I was fairly hungover during the race.
Yes. Everybody's wrong with that. They're talking about the problem children in the league who don't practice and just jump in. So I'm sure everybody's thrilled to hear that. I didn't get any practice this week either. But you didn't wreck anyone, so there you go.
I'm almost kind of sad. I wanted to be more involved in the wrecking. Everybody else needed to do it. I mean, I took a week off when everybody else turned it on. So
we couldn't keep up. We couldn't keep up for the wrecking. I guess I did. I think on the first or the beginning of the second run we had, I was making a comment that I had solid long run speed. I thought I had saved my tires well at the beginning. I was passing cars. I was racing Danson for like 23rd place. And then I just like used up the tires, fell back, almost wrecked, was about to go lap down, pitted early, was able to get the wave around when the caution happened. So kind of worked itself back out, running in like 35th because there were like 38 cars in the lead lap for the entire race. And there's a lot of good drivers. Hey, Moo. So a lot of good drivers, and was running in the back of them. Did not feel comfortable with the track at all after like 5 laps. I just did not know how to save the tires, and the tires just were so bad. So I was extra bad. I had no expectations for New Hampshire. It was going to be an awful race. I pitted with when we got the first green white checkered. Was like, screw it, I'm 34th. I'll get 4 tires, and I restarted like 36th. See what happens in 2 laps. The mess happens on the front stretch, coming to 1 to go. Sean Casto just like drove it in there and probably totaled his car behind me and almost ran me over. I slowed down and did not arc a brake, and I plowed through, and I finished 24th, which I did not deserve because I was running the 30s the whole race. I think I was like one of the only ones that gained a bunch of positions out of that accident, so I was pretty happy with that finish that I did not deserve. Saw Danson wrecking some people at the end and was like, yay, a couple more spots. Just like last week, he's helping me out. And yeah, nothing crazy there, I guess. We'll get into it a little bit later, the Danson Oval troubles, if we want to call them that. But as far as my day, happy with the 24th place finish, and nothing more to talk about there. It's certainly not worth it because we have Drew here to talk about his run where he was up front a lot of the day. And you had a good run, which was, I think the only question is when we have Andrew on, is it be after he wins or not? And there's like a 50-50 chance that happens.
Yeah, so I mean, we started off solid in practice, did a lot of AFIX and NIS practice this week. Was able to get pole. A little worried because Matt was starting there, and I know he kicked everyone's butt in the winter series, so a little worried about that. First 30 laps, so we had those few cautions, was just saving tires, taking our time, and we had a caution about 24 laps in. I know we had 5 sets, so it was about every 30 laps, take tires. It was close enough for me and pitted. And Matt, we ended up way in the back. I mean, like 30th on back. So
I was shocked.
Nick was the first car to stay out, and he's like, Andrew's behind me.
I was so scared. I was like, this is not going to go well. This is not. I was like, just don't get in there. It's like, just don't get in the way. And then it's funny because then that's when I saw the Altus Esports. I saw my future teammates go by, and I was like, there they all go all together. I was like, they didn't. I was like, I'm confused. Why didn't they tell me to get on their strategy? I saw them all just like a little line together. Andrew, I think you made it 4. Andrew made it 4. You made it 4 wide during that, and I was just like, please God, don't wreck any. This is not the day. What?
Yeah, we're all just blazing a trail down on the apron.
Yeah.
I was following Andrew,
and I was like, please God, just don't run into any of them. Genuine. That was before I knew how to drive the track, which I still didn't know at lap 150. But at that point, I really didn't know. And then I was like, damn, all the good guys pit at the exact same time. Sorry, I was not talking about my race. Like, that was just funny to me because I was like, oh, every good guy pitted, and they're all behind me. This is not good. Yeah. If you knew how scared I was just going into the corners. But anyway, go ahead.
I think everyone stayed out because Brandon, he's been so hot, and he stayed out, so everybody just followed him. You can blame him. I mean, he's been the hottest guy here. But, so, I mean, I've seen guys, the pro guys, run on the apron all week, so I thought I'd try it, and probably scared a bunch of people doing that. But I had Matt behind me following me, so I wasn't alone. But, I mean, we were working our way up through, and the tires did not matter like I thought they would. You it was impossible to pass. I had really good battle there with Sam. I think I was for second at the time. And I mean, I must have sat there for 10 laps just trying to pass him. And then Brandon I got to, and I couldn't get around. And I think Daniel started catching us, so he just kind of let me go. We had more gas than everybody. We're just sitting there waiting for a caution. Everybody started having those green flag stops. I've been in RSR long enough to know that you're going to get a caution. And unfortunately, it happened right in front of me. So 2 guys tangled.
Yeah. And so we had the replay where you got some damage. I think Jeremy was begging to be called out on the show today. And then he wonders why he's getting called out. I was like, dude, you're literally asking us to call you out. So we'll go to the video. So, yeah, tell us what happened here.
Yeah, sorry, hit the wrong button. They went by me on the inside, and I was forced kind of to the outside line, the third lane, and I don't know. Jeremy just drove it in the corner, I guess, and overshot it, got into him, and I had nowhere to go. He was spinning up the track. I had Jeremy to the bottom, and I just hit the wall. And I was shocked. I had 40 seconds of damage from that little tap, and I know Seth, the merchant, had a ton more. His front end looked so much more destroyed than mine. He was fine, and I wasn't. So I don't know, just bad luck with the damage. Yeah, so I mean, I'm not really mad about anything. It's racing. It happens. I guess he just overshot the corner and clipped him, but bad place to be in the lead, I guess. So I was looking for a caution, not me to be in the caution. So
you're in the lead at this point. So you're in the lead still at this point.
Yeah,
so maybe Jeremy's racing hard trying to get his lap back in case there is a caution, and then he causes it. Do you know if Brandon was also on old tires there?
No, so actually no, because he went by me. So yeah, he was on the new tires as well. Both of them were on new tires and just worked their way by me. So they just got their lap back, and I guess they raced for it just sucks. You know, wrong place, wrong time. What are you gonna do? Yeah, but from there, I mean, we came in after that caution. We got as much damage as we could get without losing track position, and then mayhem broke out. I like to call it.
I'm sorry, Andrew. We gotta pause for a second. We've got breaking news. Danson's 2-race suspension is upheld.
Of course.
So Danson, do you have any instant commentary? So there were 3 admins that reviewed. One said to reduce to 1 race, but the other 2 upheld.
I think it's funny that you can like wreck someone under yellow, and that's a 1 race.
Hold on.
3 race probation.
I thought it was the suspension did get reduced, did it not?
No, that's Sam.
No, the majority decision is to uphold the penalty. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry, I'm blind. Okay.
So you can wreck someone under yellow, and include other cars, and that's a 1 race suspension, 3 race probation. But if you have a racing kind of incident. If you have a racing incident, it's a 2 race suspension, 10 race probation with no history of anything. It's kind of out of control. But I think it's more.
You just want consistency
setting an
with
example.
You just want consistency with both calls, right? That's what you're looking for.
Well, yeah. I don't really see how mine is certainly not more excessive than the wrecking under yellow, because if you're wrecking under yellow, there's only one thing that's occurring. You're not racing for a position. You're not at speed. You're literally pacing and driving through someone. There's only one thing that's occurring there. You're wrecking them. But if you're racing and you drive into someone, whether it's negligent or not, it's yeah, true. It's at least there's more at play than simply pacing around and driving through someone's rear end and turning them. You know what I mean? After screaming at them on the radio. So I guess that's, to me, it's bizarre that it's more stricter. But
I think in both cases they're just looking at it as an intentional wrecking, right? I mean, kind of. Well, I'm not saying you did it or didn't, but I think that's what they're ruling it as. Yeah.
That's what I'm saying though. Like I just don't even see though. Even I just don't even see how. See Sam's sweating. He's like, don't bring me into it. But no, Sam. I mean, your case is already your case is already done and dusted. The point I'm making is that I don't understand how that is a 1 race suspension, 3 race probation, and then this situation is like by their ruling is about 4 times worse. 3 times worse.
So
3 and a bit times worse.
at least it won't impact you. You have enough points. It won't impact your playoff eligibility. You'll still make the playoffs, and at the end of the day, running for the championship is what counts. So I think it's a good thing you'll be back racing in the 05 in time for running for a championship. That won't be impacted. I'm sure you'll still be practicing, getting ready for, the race. So
Danson practice? What?
Yeah, I don't.
You're right. So
Unless
you'll get a couple weeks to relax and reset, right?
Yeah.
It's like a team that gets a home bye, like a first round bye in the playoffs. You get the.
Liam, I think does it still count as a sweep if I'm not there? Does it still count as not a sweep?
That's a good question.
I guess it doesn't.
Oh yeah, that was history going for 4 in a row.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I do want to provide.
Maybe they didn't want that. Maybe RSR actively did not want to have all of the road course races won by one driver.
It would have been 5 in a row, or I think 6 in a row since you started, right? I think with the Winter Series and the Cup Series, it would have been 6 in a row. So I do have specific feedback from our anonymous admins that we can provide to the group here to provide some context here.
Almost anonymous.
Yeah. So anonymous admin A. The context, it's just a dude not reacting to a chain reaction deal fast enough. Shit happens. The retaliation definitely warrants a suspension and probation. Anonymous admin B, the incident was initiated with malice, definitely applies here. 05 leapfrog 2 cars just to get back at the 86. Whether he meant to wreck him or not, he made a very bold move in an attempt to get back at him and overdid it. Gun to my head, I would probably uphold the penalty. Gun to my head, I would probably uphold the penalty by the rule book, and even if he didn't mean to wreck him, he admits to wanting to move him and does that and more.
Yeah.
So what you said on this show works against you.
No.
No, I think these were comments that. I think these are comments.
He said that after admins. Okay.
He did. Yeah. They're not that fast. They're not watching the show right now and holding things against them, I promise. It'd be nice to have a few more viewers, though. So if these anonymous admins are watching, thanks for watching After the Turns. And check us out every Tuesday night, 11 p.m. Eastern. Anonymous admin C. So I will say they both should result in a suspension, and the appeal should be for 1 race suspension rather to 2. Due to the fact that it did only affect the primary 2 drivers and 1 more who seemed to get hit, but did not lose track position due to it being the end of the race. So admin C seems to be aligned with kind of what you were thinking, Danson. I think admin A and admin B probably saw what Evan had.
The first one says it was a chain reaction in that deal. Are they saying the chain reaction was when Dominic got into me?
I think the initial one, yes.
I don't think they saw the one prior to that, though. Because didn't you say that happened twice?
Yeah, well, it happened twice. Neither of them were chain reactions. Both of them were just no brain reactions.
When we talk about both, the context is Sam Nieto's accident that you referred to in the case.
Yes.
So not both the accidents.
Okay.
I appreciate the context that we totally didn't need, but we didn't require, but certainly thanks to Evan for sharing the anonymous info from our admins live on the stream here. That's pretty great. Only stuff you can get on After the Turns. So that's why you're going to watch us every Tuesday night. To all our listeners, if you are watching, please go ahead and hit the follow button. We need 9 more followers to be affiliate to get to 50. So please, if you watch or listen to us, go ahead and follow us, please.
I tell you what, awesome. if Evan makes 1 slip in that IROC race, I am going to be
2 race suspension.
Oh man.
Yeah.
So Evan is not one of these admins. He's not one of the anonymous admins that upheld the decision,
he's
right?
just gonna. That's unfortunate for him.
I bet Steve Durham was one of the admins. This is why you shouldn't have been.
Yeah, exactly.
Ryan.
Exactly.
You needed more drop
maybe
ball.
Kaczynski. I bet Kaczynski's
all 3
admins. He bought all the positions.
He's going to say, I'll overturn your suspension if I can buy Altus Esports.
They get the house for that.
Which I will speak to, Danson, we've talked about it a little bit on the chat, but, unfortunate circumstances with the holding of the penalty. But the 05 does need a replacement driver. And I know we've been talking about it, but I got to say, I think it's time I could replace you for Altus Esports in the 05 for Watkins Glen. And what is the other one? Michigan? I can actually run good at Michigan.
Oh, thank God I'm suspended for Michigan. That's good.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I think I can run really well in Michigan.
Actually,
Michigan's my best track. Michigan's my best track.
Michigan, maybe that was the place where I was going to get it because that's where I got my first oval in winter.
Well,
see, Evan, I feel like, or whoever the anonymous admins are, yeah, they are just clearly actively against me.
That's exactly what it is. You're avoiding the question. You're avoiding the question. Should I actually just go into Altus Esports for the next 3 weeks, or should I just change my number and paint scheme to yours? And
I think Braden is going to drive because obviously the charter is paid for, right? So Braden, I'm assuming there
are no charters. That's not how it works. No.
Yeah, it's how it works. So Braden's going to drive the 05 at those two races. You heard it here first.
I think Braden was saying that Nick Marra is going to drive the 05 in the chat. So I think he said,
He did say that already.
Yeah.
He did say that.
He said that multiple times.
No, he said I volunteer. He literally said I volunteer. Look at that. I voluntear.
Huh?
No.
I see first dibs.
Okay.
I see first dibs.
No, he said God bless.
Yeah, I saw Evan just commented in the chat that his girlfriend scolding him for wrecking accidents is worse than anything you're gonna say, Danson. So he's here. I'm pretty sure he approves. He just approved a number change. I'm pretty sure he can approve a team change. And then you know what?
2 weeks, yeah.
Maybe I'll end up winning, and then maybe I've started the decline of Matt Danson. He's gonna have to go to Marra Motorsports and work his way back up to the top.
Like the 05 gets his first Cup Oval win.
Yeah, he's gonna be like Kurt Busch. You drove like a Marra Motorsports driver last week, so maybe you just need to calm down in some lower tier equipment, and then we can get you back to Altus for the end of the year and maybe the playoffs.
I really do want to get to the end of Andrew's race, but this does seem like a pretty good opportunity to talk more about. God, where is it? Do I not have it here? Damn it.
Uh-oh.
Well, we'll get to it later. I guess I don't have it set up here. Oh, my bad. Yeah. We'll get to it later. So we really should talk about the end of Andrew's race, though. I know, Andrew, we got way sidetracked with the breaking news. We had just gotten through that wreck where you got some damage. You still finished, I think, 4th. So obviously the end of the race was not too bad for you. So talk about how you stayed up there with the 40 seconds of damage.
Yeah, well, after that, I got about 10 seconds of it fixed. And, I was just down speed coming off the corner. And halfway down the straight, I was getting pulled. So it was kind of just hang on as best I could. And, we were probably like a 10th to 15th place car. And a late race caution came out where we went and took tires. And, mayhem struck after that. Everybody was wrecking every direction and kind of just got lucky, avoided it, and somehow ended up 4th. But I had some really good race at the end there with Rhett and Thomas George. We were having a blast, but it was just so frustrating being down speed. I just couldn't keep up with those guys. And again, I don't know how Seth, his front end looked a ton worse than mine, but he was fine, and I was not. So I don't know. It was just damage killed us in the end. He's really good. He used to run RSR in 2018.
Oh,
way back when. So he was pretty good from what I remember. I have terrible memory, though. I can't remember what I had for dinner tonight.
So. Well, you had a lot of success in RSR.
He wins so much. It just, 3rd, 4th place finishes. They didn't even have to,
we will 100% get to that. There's a bunch of surprising stats, which I guess won't be necessarily surprising, but the level of domination that you've had in the league, Andrew. But first, we should talk, a little bit about that finish, because I know, Danson, we have some questions for you. What was said on the radio for this finish? Maybe you can talk us through as much as you heard on the radio, because I'm sure you were on the group call here with Seth leading here with 2 laps to go. It was one hell of a finish here. I don't know if you guys have seen it, but it was fantastic.
I haven't seen it.
Really?
You haven't seen it? This was the best finish of the year by far.
Yeah, all of my friends were like,
amazing.
"That was an incredible finish." So I
Pretty
appreciate.
sure Coda was
everyone.
way better.
Was
Coda-
Sal on the radio with you?
This was last turn. This
uh,
was incrable.
No, this is
He
this
would've
is
been-
coming a while ago. Yeah.
Yeah, we were on Discord, but I was very focused on on my race at that point.
Understandable. So they're coming. Here's the big pile up. I still don't understand how this happened. How they're wrecking.
Oh,
on the-
Sam wrecked Dylan and
Jones.
got no penalty. That's what
Oh,
happened.
okay.
Yeah.
That's good.
Someone made a
So
comment.
I love it goes high here. I think Nick and I were surprised he gave the high side here because it's very hard to make a pass on the bottom.
Yeah. Oh, it's impossible to pass.
Yeah.
Someone made a comment. I think it would have been interesting if all the cars were still sitting there and you had to dodge them as you were coming in the line.
100%.
But that was
Yeah.
incredible for him to go around the outside like that. I mean, it was hard enough to pass. I don't know how the hell he did
To
that.
be fair,
He did have fresher tires. Go ahead.
Yeah,
Yes.
25 lap fresher
Okay,
tires.
is that what it was?
And yeah, Merch had that damage, but yeah, pretty. It was. I think
Oh,
you know there was a bit of disappointment on our side because obviously you know I mean I'd been junked, but also just before that Cozy got turned around as well. You know, so we had two cars, P1 and P2 before that, and yeah, you know, just one of those deals.
I didn't realize he was on fresh tires, so that probably helped. But if it was me, I would have gone up. I would have stayed up high if I could, and just said I told Matt, either you move me out of the way on that last lap, you do the bump and run, or I'll take your chance of being able to get to the inside and actually being able to make that pass, even with fresher tires. But it's so hard to say it at the time too. So you know, there's a lot going on in a short period of time.
So
I think
you're
if
good
it
on
goes inside,
ovals. What are your thoughts there on that? Is that you know you're in the lead there with older tires? Do you block the bottom like that, or do you make them pass you on the inside?
I don't know. Later in that race, it seemed like tires mattered. When you and me, Matt, pitted, they really didn't matter as much. So I don't know if the track getting cooler or what. But I guess in that instance, I'm probably giving him the bottom. But the bottom was rolling too. So you're kind of damned if you do, damned if you don't. I would have pitted there. If I had a clean car, I definitely am pitting and taking tires there. I don't know. That call, especially with all those cautions, if we didn't get it, they would have been screwed like 10 laps earlier.
Yeah.
So I think they messed up with the strategy call more than anything.
I agree. Well, I agree in principle, but I mean, yeah, I got trapped and stuck in all the mess. So you're damned if you do, damned if you don't. There's like a sweet spot. You've got to be right in that sweet spot where you're not behind too many pelicans, and you know you can sort of get on with it.
You're so right. Is that what we're called now? Or we're called pelicans?
Yeah.
I don't think I've been called that one before. It's an interesting one, new one. Because he's definitely referencing us, Matt. He definitely is.
No. You're okay. You're okay.
Yeah, sometimes.
I saw you on the radio, but I never actually saw you on the track. So I got no.
I was in just like running in 40th for like the first 50 laps. It was really bad. But like when you have no practice, New Hampshire was a hard track. It was all I saw on the Discord all weekend was everybody saying this is going to be a shit show. This is going to be a shit show. And I was like, do I even run the race because of it? I guess I'm glad I did. I'm glad I did. It was a fun experience. So it was a feisty.
3 years ago, 2018, the cars drove like that every week. So if you didn't practice, you'd be wrecking every week. Yeah. So I miss when the cars drove like that, where you actually had to practice with the thing.
Interesting. Yeah. Well, this is why I would run really bad. That was the case. Yeah. Because the shocking thing was I was 75 laps in the race. And I was like, I still don't understand this track. Like, this is just like all the rest. A lot of them, you know, I feel like if it was a mile and a half, you could probably figure it out in that amount of time. But man, it was hard. It was hard. It was loose the whole time. A hard track. So props to you guys that ran well. And great finish. That was a great finish. So yay, Daniel. He needed that win. So
yeah, happy for him. He's back in the top 25 in points, and he's playoff eligible now. Which I mean, he deserves it. He should be in the conversation all year, right? So I think he's had some troubles, maybe being a little too aggressive, and it's good to see him pull a win together there.
Imagine calling someone the R word and getting your penalty rescinded. That's crazy to me.
Are we still on about this?
That's insane. Like,
I mean, I will agree that that's a word that should not be used.
So you. Oh, is that not the penalty they got wrong? Okay, my bad. Okay, but what penalty did get rescinded, Sam?
The penalty point ones. Yeah.
The penalty point one.
For the accident. So he was at claim for, I think, was it the last lap accident or one of the last ones?
Yeah, the one where he intent wrecked Dylan and was like really happy about it. Like, why does he get away with that?
I didn't realize there was a language penalty.
Yeah, there was. Yeah, he's chat banned for
Oh yeah. I'm sure everyone's gonna miss Sam sounding off on the voice chat. So maybe Sam, go ahead and stream so we can hear what you're thinking. We'll go back and we'll watch it afterwards. Thomas George style.
No, Sam really likes to watch the other streams back.
I was surprised. I'm surprised how many of you guys watch each other's streams. Or maybe it's just like if somebody crashes, like I need to go pull up this guy's stream and see what he said about it. Yeah,
I think that's what it is.
Okay, I was gonna say, I was like, that's a lot of watching.
I say a lot of things. I say a lot of things during the race that I regret afterwards. Yeah. I'm
gonna want to watch your stream. I'm gonna want to watch your stream now.
I think
I gotta ask one more question.
Few weeks.
I should have watched Danson, your in-car. Drew, I noticed I did go in your in-car practice. You were shifting, so I don't know if it was long green flag run, but were you guys shifting?
See, interesting thing. iRacing has a glitch that makes it sound in the replay like you're shifting. I was not.
Oh.
That's just it's an audio glitch that's been on iRacing for like 3 or 4 years.
Oh, is that at every track or just New Hampshire or just general?
There's
whenever the RPMs get low.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's hit or miss on most tracks, but no, we were not shifting.
I practiced it and I was like, this is not any faster, so I didn't do it. But I could have sworn you were shifting, and I was like, are guys shifting on the old tires maybe? But the car is already so loose, I can only imagine. So, and I do know Sean just completely lost it, I think, late in the race, and on the broadcast they had said maybe he was shifting. But it's very picky to do that, so I don't think there would have been really any advantage. So I had to ask. Yeah. Thank you, Liam, for the context. Awesome.
Interesting. Yeah, I had no idea. Matt said that, and I was like, I can barely get into the turn without crashing. Well, that's what I do. Downshift to third. This is extra things that I can do.
Yeah, I think so that's reserved for next year's car.
Next year's car?
Yeah, I really no. I do not want that at all. I don't want that. All right. Are we happy for everyone? Are we done? Are we done with this race? I don't think we're done, but
oh, you're right. We're not done because there was another suspension that we haven't talked about. There was 2 suspensions and a probation, right? The other one was Adam de Blasio, who's sitting 14th in points right now. So I'm going to throw up the standings because this is impactful. And I went through the work. I created our own graphic rather than using Dan Lissa. So we've got the graphic here for the current standings. Andrew, obviously you have no concern. What's that?
No, I was thinking buzzword.
Yeah.
Sorry, I sneezed.
Sorry.
Stop sneezing.
That's an extra race suspension for me for sneezing.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
So the battle for 16th is insane right now. It's very, very close. You see 3 drivers within 2 points, but then you see Adam de Blasio, who's now missing a race, who only has a 19-point cushion. That's going to be impactful. He's probably going to drop out of the top 16 here, after Watkins Glen, with a solid run by Bradley and Ross. What's ironic is the reason for the suspension is he's actually going to end up helping out Bradley here. We'll watch the replay, what happened at the end here. It's very, very quick. Didn't really have a good angle of it. Thanks to the anonymous source who sent this to me, because I did not have it.
If this is more egregious than me dooring someone, I am going to lose my mind.
So what are your thoughts on this? 55 laps down.
It's kind of laggy for me, but it looks like he's driven through about 17 cars.
Yeah, pretty much. So
when he gets suspended for this right here, just for running through people?
he's 55 laps down. He's in the gas, and he drove into Bradley there, who was trying to regain control.
Is that on the white flag? Coming to the white flag?
This is the white flag, so this is part of the pile up.
Oh, yeah.
Hang on. So was he mad at Bradley?
Yeah, so there's a history here. Yes, the clip here is a bit short. I'm sorry, I don't have more guys. But he's clearly in the gas and turning right into Bradley. So, context for everyone. So, Adam de Blasio was actually part of Flat Out Motorsports. So, I'm kind of sad that we had Grant on last week. This would have been a great conversation to have. But earlier this year, I think up until May, Adam was on the same team with Michael and Grant and Bradley here. And there was some controversy within Flat Out Motorsports that Adam was aggressive. And so it all started, I guess it started at Bristol. It actually started earlier, but there was this incident at Bristol where Michael got into Adam, and it caused some in-team frustration, with Adam and Michael. And I think we all know Michael is a very clean driver. I think that may have been one or two accidents he's caused in RSR in his time here in the last couple of years, right? So it's Bristol dirt, right? I think a lot of people were getting into a lot of people. But this seemed to be something that was not easy to get over. So a couple of weeks later at Richmond, Adam went ahead and just sent it 4 wide and put Michael into the wall at Richmond and caused some more controversy there. Ended up in him being removed from Flat Out Motorsports. So you see the accident there. Adam did not claim responsibility for this caution. I think he's actually claimed 0% of the cautions that he's caused in RSR. So you see him taking a 4 wide on the restart, putting Michael into the wall. And then obviously this last piece was apparently the rivalry with Adam and Bradley goes back to 2016. And I don't have the details on this, but this was definitely deliberate. I think you can watch this with the context, seeing the accident there. That was definitely purposeful, right?
I mean, the only way you could defend that is if you back it up a little bit and see if there's like a car to the left. But I mean, I don't know. It's kind of hard to not say it wasn't intentional.
Did someone say, hey, they should look at this incident, or does Evan have to go through and look at like all 20 of us that crashed?
So there was a group of us, in the garage yesterday. So Evan invited a bunch of people because I think a lot of people were messaging him after the race, and there were discussions. So I think Sam, myself, Liam, I think Liam jumped in at some point, Brian Chambliss, Jeremy, Danson, and myself were all in the chat at some point. I apologize if I'm missing someone because there's a lot of people in there. And Adam and Grant did pop in for parts, and they had some side discussions, I assume, about this, right? So I assume there were some tempers after whatever happened here, which there was an ask, probably. I would assume there was an ask to review it, based on what we saw in the chatter yesterday, and that after that review, it was found that was obviously intentional and that he's suspended for a race. Danson, I don't think your face has moved since you've seen this or heard this whole story.
I'm shocked that a dude has 3 previous instances of running into these guys and then full throttle someone, and that's like a little baby penalty, and then it's just insane. But I don't know. Maybe Adam threatened something. I don't know. But I'm gonna have to I don't know if you guys watch F1, but so Red Bull, they've contacted a lawyer to review the penalty Hamilton got in because they reckon it wasn't severe enough. I might have to contact them and ask if I can borrow the same lawyer to find out why I got a penalty 3 times more severe than anyone else in the league.
Matt's got enough anonymous sources. I'm pretty sure he can pull a lawyer out of his ass somewhere. Yeah, give it to you if you need it. Apparently he can. So
we have a Marra Motorsports lawyer. Yeah, I guess if you sign a contract with After the Turns, you sell
yeah. Lawyer. 2-race sponsorship. He'll go. Yeah, 2-race After the Turn sponsorship. He'll find you a lawyer to get your penalty overturned somehow, some way. Exactly.
Yeah, I think I think this all comes down to the shipping. If I don't win the Winter Series, this doesn't even happen. He's like, oh, that's not even a penalty. Just give him like a probation of 1 race or something. But because it was so egregious, he's like, there is no way I'm sending him that belt. We need to do everything we can to like hamstring him as much as possible. I get it. It's fine.
Yeah, I love Sam's comment. So wait until Nick Marra wrecks someone. He'll get suspended immediately just because he's invited himself to Evan's house.
Yeah. Exactly. That's exactly what he'll be. I'll randomly get if I touch a car the week before, I'm getting.
I was gonna say the week before. Just wait. There will be a reason to suspend you.
Or if I touch someone, it'll be like 11-race suspension. Ended the week after Vegas. Avoidable contact. Targeting avoidable contact.
Yeah.
Sorry, some of us just can't make it into the turn.
Just admin discretion, just in the interest of the league, will just be removed without reason or precedence. It's fine.
Exactly.
It's just hateful. I'm so disappointed, Evan. Come on.
Wow, the Bucks won. Okay.
Sorry, that's right. I've been texting a lot because the Bucks won and our chats are going wild. So, yay, go team!
Nice, good for them.
Yeah.
Wow.
So
that's crazy. That's unfortunate for Phoenix.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. The 4 fans are just so disappointed. So, they're so happy. Yeah. Anyway, what else? Do we have any more we need to talk about the race, or can we move on from this?
I think we're done with the race. I guess the one thing I'll wrap up with is what I did have before. So with that race, you guys may have noticed quite frequently after the oval races, Danson goes pretty early in his reviews. I know there's been a lot of discussion about Danson and his oval stats, and I think it's becoming a question of who is the best at ovals between the mats. So we'll pull up the numbers here. The average finish is very close. We have a conversation here. This is the last 6 oval races. You see I've beat Danson for the last 6 oval races. The average finish is very, very close. I think there may be a turn here with the After the Turns crew. Maybe Matt Marra is going to be the one worth talking about.
Can we go start the season? Can we do like the whole season?
We're only talking last 6. Only last 6.
I want to, because I actually don't even know where my finishes. Like I feel like I finished 38th or worse in every race, so I'm surprised to see even some green. But where have I finished in other races? Because I know Phoenix. I should have. Either second or first, and then
did you
got
finish third at Vegas?
Did I finish third at Vegas?
I
got pole.
vaguely remember
what happened
that.
after that. Yeah. And then
I guess you finished third. I'm looking for you here. Danson, you finished 6th at Homestead. I guess I don't have Phoenix.
Oh, that's right. That's right. No,
yeah. 5th at Richmond. So you were pretty strong at the beginning of the year. It's pretty much since you've been on the podcast, we've been getting in your head there.
Don't say that. Don't say that.
He's gonna stop showing up now.
Yeah, exactly. I love that you where did you decide? What I'm gonna look up. I'm gonna make a last 6 ovals, Danson versus Matt stat. When does that come into the mind?
I like it.
Yeah, I know, me too. And how long did that take to put together?
So it occurred to me one of the 2 races Danson beat me was Nashville, and I was beating Danson coming to the white with 1 to go, and I lost 10 spots on the last lap.
Okay.
And so Atlanta, I know Atlanta, maybe a couple spots there switched at the end there. And then New Hampshire, I knew I had beat him by 10 spots. So I was like, okay, well, let me look at the numbers. And I knew you had a lot of issues at Dover and Charlotte because you were pretty much first for the road courses, and then you were last for the ovals. And I was like, okay, well, I think there's a trend here.
Well, Phoenix. I mean, the Phoenix. Actually, Phoenix. Drew wrecked me. Was it Drew?
No.
I think Brandon sent it 4 wide. Brandon sent it 4 wide. Drew had nowhere to go, and he drove into my left rear. But I feel like
I don't think so. I think I was on the bottom. I was on the very bottom of that.
You reckon on the bottom? Oh, come on, Matt. Surely you can bring this up.
Oh, we got to go to Phoenix? Okay.
We're going to go to Phoenix. They're not the Phoenix you think we're going to.
I was going to say Winter Series. Are we there yet?
No, the last one this year.
No, this year. This year.
Okay, what lap?
It'd be the last,
second to last
restart.
restart.
Second last restart, yeah.
Okay.
No, I'm pretty sure. Oh, there you go. There's Brandon right here, right now. So I'm pretty sure Brandon goes 4 wide on the bottom. He goes full Adam de Blasio spec and just wipes out everyone above him. Actually, maybe it might be more of a wrong. Move.
I could be wrong. I'm not sure. I had to see it.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm working on it.
Yeah, I was not keeping it real at all. No, so it's definitely not on Andrew. This is all on Brandon Bowie. Sorry, Brandon.
Are you sure that was him? Are you sure that's him though?
Yeah.
When keeping it real, esports. Yeah, he runs the team.
When we see it, because you know what, I was like, man, who is this guy? He's like fast, but he's just insane. Why is he? But then I didn't realize that he's actually like really good. So I learned soon after. But yeah, this was a big time move. Which, I mean, the fact that he drives into the corner so deep and doors 3 other cars, I feel like that's at least a 17 race suspension because we've got
a playoff spot. Big news. I feel like
this will be your thing all year, suspending people, right? Every time someone races out a caution, suspension, 2 races.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. If they make any contact, 55 race suspension.
Yeah.
Wait, is this the restart where Nick stayed out and was leading?
Oh no.
No.
I think
Surely
I'm almost there.
No, that's the one where I scoot around. I scoot around. Yeah, Andrew and I make some contact.
Yeah, you pushed him at the track. Yeah.
Well, I just held my line in the middle, but like Drew wouldn't have known that.
Oh my God, Drew lost 10 spots because of this. Yeah.
I found it. It's an hour 35:49 into the video.
Oh yeah, that was.
Oh, they don't have the. Yeah.
So okay. Casto, I was on. If we were 4 wide, I was the second car line. Casto, I think, was on my outside. I think that's who that is, and he got into you.
Was it?
So Casto drove down into me, and then I got. He went up the track into you.
Right.
It's lap 142.
Casto is keeping it real.
I believe so.
And he is keeping.
Oh. Oh yeah, here they are, 3-1.
Let's see. I got like 1.
Yeah. Brandon will jump it here 4 and then.
Oh.
Oh. Oh, Danson. Wow. Oh yeah.
How many races? A permanent band?
Three season suspension.
3 seasons. He's gone.
I don't even think Brandon ever. Yeah, Brandon didn't even make any contact. I saw no contact there.
So was that your fault?
I think what happened. I think what happened there was Casto didn't know we were 3. He didn't know Brandon was down there and turned into me because I had to stay higher. And then.
Yeah. Well, I mean, getting organized to go 4 wide in the 3 is something that's difficult to do. So
yeah.
2 wide is hard.
Yeah, you have the speed. Yeah.
That whole race, and then I just get, bummed at the end. And then similar deals, like Stove drives through me at Dover. Rhett, I love
I don't think
you.
he's
But
been back since.
Rhett
We haven't
forgets
seen
how to
him for a
drive
while.
on a straightaway at Charlotte. What other races have we got? What other oval races? Atlanta. There was a bunch of peanuts there.
I thought they were pelicans.
Well, you can alternate between pelicans, peanuts.
Brandon Bowie is not a pelican.
No, Brandon Bowie's a clean racer, a good guy. We're just having fun.
Yeah. We're on parts of the field.
Oh fuck.
Danson, any other wrecks that you'd like us to pull up to kind of go through if it was avoidable? That should be a new segment.
Avoidable contact with Matt Danson.
So you said it. So we'll transition. We'll talk about. I think there's been a lot of pointing fingers, complaining about the wrecks. Too many wrecks. Nobody's being held accountable. The penalty system, it doesn't appropriately deter people from driving like asses. So we're going to try to do what we can to encourage people to drive better, or we will hold them accountable in our new segment that will start I think we're not going to be able to really do it at Watkins Glen. Maybe we will. Otherwise at Michigan. Called Whose Fault Is It Anyways? And it's going to feature Steve Durham. So we're going to have Steve go through every accident that happens during the race. So we'll queue up some replays for him, and he'll give us his take on who caused the accident and how they could have avoided it. So we're really excited about this one. We had a great episode with Steve a few weeks ago. And I think we knew at that point we wanted to find a way to keep him involved. And I think what better way than him telling us who's messing up on the track, right?
That's going to be our most viewed segment by far.
Yeah, so I think what we need to do is crash less so Nick can get some sleep at some point on Tuesday nights. So please do that for me only, please. If we crash a lot, this is going to be a 30-minute segment. I don't have time for that. So.
Yeah, I think we'll try to pre-record it, because if we try to do something live, it's just going to go on forever. So we'll try to pre-record something. We'll keep it to 5 to 10 minutes tops. A lot of the times it should be pretty obvious who's at fault, hopefully, and then we can talk about it. So I think that'll be fun for all of us. I think we'll all enjoy it. It'll be a fun way to hold people accountable.
All I'm imagining is a John Gruden style where he pauses the video, circles the car. Boom! See him? He's way too high. He's gonna wreck this.
I think he's got a lot of options to do whatever he wants. So I'm sure that's hilarious. I
like the idea though. Yes. So Steve, hopefully you're watching and taking notes. Segments.
Fun. Well, let's talk about some good things now. Let's talk about how great Andrew is. We talk him up too much. We need to talk about how great you are. So. Andrew, I know Matt's probably got about 100 stat pages for you, which I know we're going to go over. I know he does. But let's just start with how you got to the service, how long you've been doing it. How did you get so great for those of us who aren't so great?
So I think I started in 2017. I was doing console games, with a little steering wheel, nothing big, and it just wasn't anything I wanted. I was playing NASCAR Heat, and I think I got the game on Xbox One, and I was just so disappointed with it that I watched a guy by the name of Jeff Fabiano. He'd run NIS every Thursday. I finally went out. I was working 2 jobs at the time. I finally scrounged up enough money, bought a computer, got on the iRacing, and I was mediocre. I would run as much as I could. Again, working 2 jobs, didn't really have time. And guy by the name, he still runs in a league, Dave Washington, took me under his wing, showed me how to save tires, showed me how to, kind of be fast and respectful. So a lot of credit to him just to get to the point where I was at. But he introduced me to RSR. And actually, I have a funny story with the first race for anybody who did join. Back then, you had to qualify into the race. So they have 30 drivers that made it, and they put 44 people or 14 people in a qualifying room, and you had to qualify in the top, 10 to actually make it in the next room. So we barely made it. I think we were 3rd in that room. We went in the actual big room and qualified 2nd. And lap 2, coming off of turn 2 at Bristol, I self-spun. So anybody who starts in this, you can start wherever you want. You can wreck, self-spin, and you'll get there. So
you won your third race, if I looked at the stats correctly. So you won quickly in RSR.
That was a luck, 100%. It was Talladega. I actually got turned through the tri-oval, somehow cranked it in the gas, came up and hit the guy who was going to win and won. So I didn't know what I was doing.
Andrew win.
Back then, that was the only win I had in the 47. That was my original number when I came in. So that's how I got into RSR and iRacing, that stuff.
Wow.
So I think you make it sound like you just kind of came out of nowhere in that sense, but you immediately had success. I think you kind of downplayed your success there a little bit. Since you've joined, I think we'll look at your championship standings results for anyone who doesn't know. So that first year with the Cup Series, you finished third, and then you won everything you raced in, a full season in, until the Winter Series when Danson won. Yeah, Danson's fist pumping right now for those who can't see it. That's 5 straight championships, right? So, and even that first year where you said you were getting up to speed, you only had the one win, you finished third.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, interesting story about that. We were close. We were maybe top 10s, lower top 10s all year. And the only reason we made the Final Four in that year was because Daniel did something stupid at Texas and got suspended. He was in the Final Four and got suspended. So I was kind of the fill-in driver. I went into that Phoenix race, which was the last one before, and I wanted to win to prove I belonged. And I think it was Bowie just went by me like I was standing still. Dylan Jones did as well. So that was kind of just, I don't know how I got to the Final Four other than Daniel getting suspended. The 2017 Winter Series was kind of fake as well because that was only 10 cars. I don't think many people talk about that. There was 10 cars that showed up every race, so it was not a lot. 2018, that was when the car was hard to drive. I don't know why that clicked with me. It was very, very easy. That season as well, you'd only have 20 cars showing up to races. So we had a lot of green flag runs as well. That's where I felt like I shined. 2019, I don't know. For whatever reason, I clicked and won, I think it was 15 races that year.
Yeah.
It was something insane like that. And, from there, it was just kind of riding that momentum. And, Danson won that. And, again, all the credit in the world. That was the most awesome awesome 10 races we've ever had. That was so fun to watch and so fun to be a part of. And it was awesome just to have him there. I felt like I raised my level since then just because he came in and kicked everyone's butt. And, I really do feel like having the competition that we have now is a lot. It's doing a lot of good things for the league.
Yeah. Danson, don't worry. He's not paying attention. This is his moment to shine. So we can see he's on a call. So the Winter Series never happened. He'll probably circle back to it. Did you say you won 19 races? Was that right? 19 races in a season?
Sorry.
Oh, he's back. Somehow he's back. Okay, somehow he's back. Somehow he's back. Okay.
Sorry, I'm like alternating between two different obligations at once, and I just answered in my work meeting as per what Andrew was talking about. So that was awkward. You guys keep doing your thing. Keep doing your thing. I'll be back.
Okay, so you did. Was it right that you had 19 wins? In
15.
I believe it was 15. Yeah, 15.
15. I'm sorry,
yeah.
15. Okay, sorry.
Yeah, so you had some pretty ridiculous numbers. I think when we go into the greatest of all time for real sim racing, I think there's no doubt you're at the top. So I think we'll show some stats that are kind of mind-boggling, but at the same time, anyone who's raced with you the last few years is probably not very surprised about. So I think we'll look at the important stats, right? So wins. I mean, you've got almost double over Everhart, which I think no surprise that Everhart is second on this list. I should probably pull up all the stats. So I've got some of these legacy drivers' names right. But obviously you're at the top here. Again, no real surprise that you are. Dwayne Vincent, Chad Cole, and David Comstock, some guys who I don't know that they've raced very recently, but they've all ran around as many or more races than you have, right? So the 49 wins is obviously super impressive. Top fives, you have the most in the history of RSR. Second most top 10s, the only stat I think on this whole list that you're not first, which I guess it should not be surprising, but I guess it is. And Dwayne Vincent had ran 82 more races than you.
Yep.
So no, I think he has, getting 14 more top 10s, not necessarily a surprise. Almost double the poles, right? And we see some guys on here like David Washington, fifth on the all-time list with top 10s. Dylan C. Jones on fifth and top 5s. Eberhardt in third. So some of the active guys still will continue to catch up, but nowhere close to what you've done. And then the bottom is per race, right? So 27% win percentage. Landon Huffman's tied with you, but obviously you've ran a lot more races. I think 5 times more races. So that's all, obviously you're going to keeping it up over 180 races is super impressive. Danson's on this list, so hopefully he'll come off mute at some point to brag how he's third in win percentage for his races. Again, top 5, top 10s. And one of the things that maybe is not highlighted enough, your incidents per race, right? Down at least ever with at least 20 starts at 2.74 incidents per race. So, maybe not hitting people is part of the reason you've had some success as well, and why you can be so consistent.
Yeah, I mean, I grew up a junior fan, and you always learn you got to be respected by your peers. So trying not to hit people, trying to race people clean, I think that's my number one. All the success and everything, I still can't believe it. I just started in this league to run on Monday nights, to have Evan announce and have fun. And where this success came from, I couldn't tell you. We put a lot of effort, a lot of practice, and it just clicks and works. And, it still amazes me, though, because I know Daniel and Matt, I assume when he comes back, they can run into races with no practice and be fast, top 5 speed. It blows my mind. I sit there for 2-3 hours a night practicing for these races on Monday and Road to Pro. And, if I don't do that, I'll be, 15th, 20th. And these guys can just show up, and all the credit in the world to them. Nothing. It's not bad. I'm just complimenting them on just the pure talent they have. So I try to overwork my competition and really just, try to put as many laps and know what the car is going to do lap 1 to 60 if, 60 lap run or whenever the tank runs out. So it's just the effort you put in. But overall, I just want to be respected. I really want, when this is all over way down the road, I want people to remember me as a clean driver and, someone you could race against. And I make mistakes. I think everybody does. But I just want to be known as, if I mess up, I'm going to take ownership of it, and I'm going to race you as clean as possible. And that's really what I care about. All the glory and everything at the wins is just icing on the cake.
Yeah, I was. That's incredible. So I was going to ask about the practice. So we've heard some people talk about how they practice. So how are you practicing during the week? Are you doing? I think I've been in a couple of fixed races with you somehow, but a few months back. But you must be doing quite a bit of racing, practicing on your own. How does that look for you?
Yeah, it's a lot different with the car the way it is now. Back in 2018, we didn't have any of the aero stuff. So practicing by yourself was the same as practicing in a race. So if you ran 50 laps, you're going to get an accurate feel of what it does in the pack. Now you got to have cars around you to really get a feel for it. So if you're practicing in Atlanta, for say, you're going to be flooring in circles by yourself. It's not going to teach you anything. You got to run around cars. So it's very hard to practice these days just because you need to get around people. I don't like to lose iRating either, and those mile and a halves are just so unpredictable. They're almost like plate tracks. So AI has been a great tool for me lately to learn stuff about that. But when we go to tracks like Nashville, we go to tracks like New Hampshire, I can practice by myself and really feel a lot more comfortable with the track. But yeah, I mean, it's just getting laps. You got to practice. I think anybody can be great. I'm lucky enough. I'm young enough. I don't have a family or prior commitments that I can practice as much as I do. I understand a lot of people out there, they have families and other stuff to do, but I'm fortunate enough to have time, and that's kind of what goes into every week in RSR and Road to Pro.
Yeah, I was making the comment to you, I have a little bit of time, but instead of practicing, I spend it getting ready for the show. So that's why you're so much further up than I am. I'm creating graphics, like literally.
It's it's a little more than that, but yeah, we can say that's part of it. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll pretend that if I practice harder, that I'd be better. And I think Sean joined us. Sean Casto had joined us week 2, and he had brought up AI. And I know the AI specifically is a newer feature that it seems like people are taking advantage of. I know Sean, at some point maybe I'll show the graphic that you shared with me in regards to collecting a bunch of metrics, telemetry, help you make decisions, because it does seem to translate. So you think the AI is pretty accurate to what you see when you race against us in RSR?
It's close. They've been making improvements, but I don't think the draft is there yet to be exact. It's definitely, it'll get you a good feel racing around cars and whatnot, but there is a little bit more of a draft that they are missing. So your best method of practice is running AFIX, but again, I don't want to risk my iRating running. I still call it super speedway racing because you're flooring it. So, but that's my take. But yeah, definitely running around people, even if it's just practices, will get you a better feel. But the AI is a step in the right direction, and they're getting a lot better. I'd probably give it another 6 months or so, and they're going to be right there, probably equivalent of racing real people.
So is that fun? Is it fun racing the AI? My thing is, like, I just enjoy the concept of racing other people on the online service. So I don't know about Matt if you've ever done AI, but I've never done AI. I've never pulled them up before. So yeah, is it better or worse than just like the NASCAR heat games?
It's a lot better than NASCAR heat. I mean, miles
The
better.
bar pretty low, yeah.
Okay. I mean, not a lot of competition, I guess, but yeah. But still better than like a PC game or a console game.
Oh yeah, it's iRacing. They're gonna make it as good as possible. The only thing is finding the right difficulty. Some like short tracks, I'll put them as high as they go, and then mile and a half, I'll put them as high as I go, and I'm getting lapped within 10 laps. So it's finding that right level that you're actually going to be competitive, still have fun, and learn something, which is not easy to do because it's so different from track to track. I know Phoenix, I was running one, like I said, as hard as they go, and I lap the field. And then I go to Atlanta with the same thing, and they'd lap me. So it's finding that. I wish they get a little more consistent with it, but overall, it's a good tool to use if you can get the settings right.
Love that. I know Liam had asked. We kind of talked about this before we got on, but your last name has several different interpretations. I don't think any of us can get it right. So, how do you say your last name? And now that we know that Evan hasn't been saying it right, does that bother you at all through all of these championships and wins that you have?
It really doesn't. I've never had anybody say it right. I think I was telling Matt before the show, some guy pronounced it Farnyard, and I was called Barnyard for about a year by all my buddies. So it's Faryniarz. It's Polish. No, I mean, it doesn't even look like it. I know, but that's how you pronounce it. It's just Faryniarz. I really don't care if people mispronounce it. They've been doing it my whole life, and I don't think anybody will really get it right. So,
well, I think now that we know, it's pretty simple. Take out the A when you're trying to pronounce it. Faryniarz, which is like 2 syllables. Yeah. So I think we got it now. I think we're happy. We're the ones to break that, the right way to say your name. We got your face, so we're excited about that. Many firsts on the show today.
What were you saying? You were calling it, like, you were saying his last name completely different.
So I said Faryniarz, I think, for the first like 3 or 4 episodes, even though I knew Evan was saying Faryniarz, and I just was like mindlessly saying the wrong thing for the first few episodes, and I caught myself and I corrected myself into something that was obviously not correct, as we find out now. So apologies for that as well, Andrew. I think a lot of the guys were saying just call you Drew or Andrew. Don't even try with the last name, but now we know it.
Yeah, that's usually how it works. People just call me my first name. I don't mind it at all. You can call me whatever you want.
Exactly. So I did have one. So you're good at every track, basically good at every track, I would say, in RSR. So what do you have a favorite track that you like to race on?
Favorite track on the current schedule, I'd probably still say Dover. I love Dover, Richmond. Those tracks that have high horsepower, low downforce, I absolutely love them because you have to drive them. You actually have to use the brake pedal. I'm not a fan of any track where you're lifting, getting right back in it. But favorite track on the service is by far Rockingham. I absolutely love that place. It's rough, bumpy, and just a really fun place to drive.
Rockingham was a very hard track for me. So
I love it. My first league race, Nick, I think you watched it. My first ever league race was at a truck at Rockingham, and I was in like 5th place. And they get on the broadcast, they're like, "This Matt Marra, he could be an underdog here in his first race." And then I think I put it in the wall, halfway through the race and ended it. But
it's easy to do there.
Yeah, if I wanted to, you don't hold the bottom exactly.
Yep.
It's very easy to hit the wall off too, but it's a very, very fun track. It would be fun. It would have been a fun option. I think maybe it was one of the options for the All-Star race, but hopefully I do hope we get to Rockingham at some point on the schedule. And we know you like it, and you're already good at tracks you don't like. So, if we do go to Rockingham, you're probably going to win.
Yeah, that's one. I'm not very cocky, but that's one track I feel like I can. I feel confident going into that I can win.
I would say that's pretty much every race.
Yes. You talk about, I think you have guys like Danson. Cody Harris has been very good on the road courses. Brandon's been pretty good. Something that's maybe a completely different racecraft with road course racing. But you've been very good on the road courses as well. Can you talk about how you seem to be good at both? Is it just feel natural to you, or is it something you've had to practice a little bit harder on?
Yeah, well, I have to get this out of the way. I can't stand road course racing. I don't like it in real life. I went to Watkins Glen for one race, Dale. I guess 2017, Dale Jr.'s last year. I don't understand what the gist of it. They go by every minute. I mean, I don't know. But I mean, I'm a very competitive person. I want to do good. As much as I hate doing it, I'm going to put my best foot forward. I got to run months in advance to practice for these races just to end up third. So I got to figure something out because Matt and, Cody Harris and Bowie, I mean, there's so many, Liam Sheen, they're all amazing on there. And it just pushes me to practice more. But I mean, the practice for those races, I'm not kidding, probably go to a month, 2 months in advance, just when I have time on the side to practice it, because that's just how bad I am. I'm trying to get better, but I just don't understand how these guys can drive so hard and not burn their tires off. But we're starting to get there. We finished kind of close to Matt there at Road America.
Where did you finish at Road America? Dance is wishing he could talk about these road courses right now.
We ended up third there. Let me do it for Matt. Matt's just going to say he's awesome. He's great at road courses. He'll kick everyone's butt. And it's all true. Okay, I give the man credit. He is amazing on those things. But we finished third there. I think Sonoma, we finished third as well.
Yeah. And 7th at Coda. Yeah.
Coda, those new tracks like Coda and Indy Road when we did it in the winter, I'd never been there. I didn't own the track, so it's just a step to learn where the hell you're going.
Have you won a road course race in RSR?
I have. I think I've won a few. I won Watkins Glen one time because we used to have a lot of good guys. Connor Horn used to be in this league, and he was winning and ran out of gas on the last lap. I was right behind him, so I think that's the one. I think I run a Roval a few times as well. Those are my only two.
Yes. So speaking of Indy Roval, that was last year, I think. So that you won at the Charlotte Roval, if I'm not mistaken. So since 2018, you're on your second longest winning drought currently. With not winning for 8 races, which doesn't sound like a lot, but for Andrew, for you, it seems to be, since going back, you've been in the league since 2017, between the Cup and the Winter Series that you've raced in, your longest drought was last year. In the Cup Series, you had a 10-race drought from Indy to the Charlotte Roval. But other than that, you currently have your second longest winning drought. Can you talk a little bit about that? When are we going to expect your car back in victory lane? I think before that, you had won 3 of 4.
Yeah, I mean, I can't express to you the bad luck we had. I thought we had Nashville in the bag, and Daniel there self-spun off of turn 4 with 8 to go. Pocono, we were right there. We got Steve Durhamed. I mean, Atlanta, we were right there, and we got blocked into the wall, and then we were leading this week and got wrecked. So we've led laps on all these races, take out the road courses. I don't know what else to do. We've been just having bad luck. So as long as we're up there leading laps, there's nothing more I can do. Just maybe look out for crashes more? I really don't know. So I do a review at the end of every race to see what I could do different, and I have not found anything these last few weeks. So it's definitely a struggle, but hopefully we'll put something together. Matt not being there at Watkins Glen, we might have a shot, but I mean, these guys are so good at road courses, especially with the addition to Seth and Cozy. It's going to be tough, but we'll do our best to put it back in victory lane.
Does it feel like it's been a while since you've won? I mean, for most people, not winning for 8 races probably doesn't feel like a long time. But for you and your success at RSR, does it feel like it's been a while since you've been in victory lane?
Honestly, no. I live by the philosophy that every win could be your last, and I know that's going to sound hypocritical, but it's true. You don't know. You could easily lose speed on this simulation in a day. They could change the build. So. Yeah. I cherish every win. It doesn't feel that long. Just everything that's been going on, Road to Pro and this, everything goes by kind of fast. So it honestly feels like 2-3 weeks ago we won. So
I have 2 follow-ups on that. So one, you talk about treating every win like it's your last. What's your favorite win? You've got a lot of them. What's your favorite, I should say not favorite win, maybe your favorite moment in the sim that you've had since you've been a part of iRacing?
It would have to be 2. I must have been on iRacing for 3-4 weeks, and I won an NIS race. It wasn't top split. It was probably very bottom split. And I thought I was the baddest, person on the game. I thought I was great. Farthest from the truth, but I mean, I felt great. And the other one was at Homestead again, 2018. It was in RSR. We were leading for most of that race, and there was a caution with like 20 to go. And Dylan Jones and Brandon Bowie got in front of me on pit cycle or whatever. And I made a move 3 wide to the bottom to pass them both and ended up winning the championship. So that one always sticks. Just a really, really cool moment that I'll never forget.
Oh, we got to watch that. So which one was that? I'm sorry.
That was 2018, I want to say.
The Cup Series?
Yes.
Was that Homestead was the finale?
Yes. Okay. That was probably one of the just watching that was probably one of the coolest moments. I've watched it just like you watched the Clash. I watched that over and over. You're not the only one.
That's what we like to hear. So I think a couple of the guys, like I think we asked Jeremy, we asked Dominic last week or 2 weeks ago. How many times have you watched one? Oh, I've watched a couple times. Like, I want to hear you watch like every night before you go to bed. So it's nice to know that you do that too. Okay.
Yeah, I think everybody who wins a race, you want to watch it back. The one I know Matt was talking about it. There's races where like you feel like you should have won or should have had a better finish, and it pops up in your recommended. You're like, I'm not watching that. Yeah, I'm sure you guys have that as well.
Too many.
Every
race, pretty much. Yeah.
Yeah. It's every week. It could have gone a little better. Yeah.
It's more like even this week, guys, like I knew I had a couple bad moments and I see them show my car. And it used to be like when they show the car, like, sweet, I got some on air time. And now it's like, oh, God, I hope this isn't the time where I wrecked and they caught it on camera.
Did they show you this weekend, Matt? Did they show you
I made my mistakes? No, they did not catch my mistakes this week. Thank God.
Did they show you like just your in car?
Yeah, they show me a couple times. They usually do. Yeah, they got to show me after Marra. Yeah.
Yeah, gotcha. Okay.
So you said on the restart, right, Drew?
Yes. Okay, I think it was the last restart.
Yeah, we're gonna show the restart here.
Was it a last lap? It was like a last lap.
It was about 10, 15 to go.
Yeah.
Interesting story about that, though, is when we got by them, you guys mentioned him, but Jason Jacoby was in the lead, and he battled me tooth and nail. I finally got by him, and then he just let the guy behind me, Dylan Jones, go, and we were racing for the championship. I'm like, come on, man.
You're like, yeah, I love Jason, yeah.
Yeah, I think everybody does, right?
This is it. Wow, look at those graphic packages.
Yeah, a little bit of a throwback. This is LSR TV, but I believe Evan's broadcasting for LSR TV, right?
Yep. So I had been in front of them for most of that race, and we had a caution. I fell out there, and this was it. Just going into 3, I had the run, and I just sent the thing and cleared them both. So that wasn't for the lead, but that was for the championship lead at the time.
Which is way more important. Yeah.
And it was both of these guys?
Yep, it was Dylan and Bowie.
Dylan and Brandon, yeah. Both still in the league, yeah. Yep.
Oh, I see some names in there.
Daniel, I think, was the other championship.
Yeah, there he is, right there.
Yep.
Yep. He's making some moves, yeah.
But that was, from there, me and Dylan just kind of stayed the same distance apart. But
do you win this race?
Yes.
You passed Justin? Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
That lead size, man. So 21 guys is a little lower than nowadays.
I mean, at the end of the 2020 season, I think at Martinsville there were like 21 cars, and at Phoenix there were 25. Right. So it did seem to shrink. I think that's part of the reason, Evan. We had some cars miss last week, which, was two guys who were second off the lead at New Hampshire. So, that happens. So, oops, I should probably go to the 3-player. Regardless, so there was usually you cut, like Evan cuts off at the playoffs. No new people join, right? So that's why I think we just added a bunch of people, and so when people stop showing up because they're not in the playoff race anymore, plus we're not adding people usually at the end of the year, there's a little less participation.
Yeah, and funny enough, though, I know people talk about all the cautions. The greatest leagues that I have been in where you get a lot of green flag runs is the one with 15, 20 people every week. I know it's a big thing to have 40 people, but it's just more chances for cautions. If you want to clean it up, you kind of limit the amount of people that are in there. And that was that year, 2018, we had green flag runs for days. I mean, every single week you get a green flag stop. And you really don't see that anymore in this. And I just think that's due to the numbers.
Yeah. I mean, it's definitely the numbers, let's say for sure. And it's the closer racing, I think, too. Yeah. We have a question about that Homestead week. I think it was Sam. I'm so sorry. The names escape me on the feed, but they remember seeing you in a fixed race that week several times, trying to finish the race without pitting.
I got a story about that if you want.
Yes.
A-Fix was 60 laps, and I saw one race I started clutching. This was probably the coolest official race I won. I clutched from the beginning. Didn't have to. I just wanted to see if you could do it. And I ran out of gas coming across the line to win. And whoever was behind me was like literally on my bumper after they pitted. That was back when you have green flag races, though. Again, you don't see that anymore. You had to pit during A-Fix, which, again, it's not that way anymore. Really?
Well, so when did they change that? Because when I did the Coke 600, it was kind of like that as well. There was a race that I did that I won that I didn't pit, and I ran out of gas. I got to turn 2. I think it was a 63-lap race.
I think about 2019 when they went to the really high downforce package, they started shortening up A-Fix and NIS races like that. Because that, like I said, they used to be long, and you'd have to pit every race, and it's just the cars are so easy to drive, and they're kind of just sprint races now, which is a real shame.
Yes. For time's sake, sometimes it's good, but yeah, if you're looking for green flag runs, but like you said, I don't feel like there's a lot of green flag running in some of these A-Fix races. So
there used to be a
disaster. Yeah, it seems to be a disaster. Like Atlanta and New Hampshire, like we knew coming into the race, A-Fix was a disaster, and then we put together some green flag runs, which would arguably be better than what was an A-Fix. And people are still like, too many cautions, right? But there's only so much we can do, right? I think, I don't know who it was in the chat. Maybe it was Thomas or Rhett had mentioned, hey, it's a close racing. There's 43 guys here who are fast. We're going to be on top of each other, and that's going to cause accidents. And I think some of the stuff at the end was maybe avoidable if we had double file restarts, which sounds like a crazy thing to say. But I think, there's only so much we can fix in regards to the accidents that are happening.
Right. I mean, I look at the field every week, and there's like 10, 15 people that you could pick to win. So everybody's on top of each other. And I like to bring up another point about the playoff standings. The way they work is it doesn't reward consistency. It's all about winning. So for guys who are kind of locked in, you could be as aggressive as you want and wreck, and it's not going to affect you in the playoffs. So I think that's kind of another issue. I'd like to talk if we have time.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's do it now. Yeah.
So I don't know if you guys know how the playoffs work, but it's pretty much if you win, you get 3 bonus points for round 1 and only round 1. So now I have 12 bonus points for round 1. Once you get to round 2, None of that matters. That all goes away. Everybody's on the same thing. So, for guys who are consistent, and it's really hard to win in this league. Like a guy like Laraya, who's had a good, season so far. He's going to go into the first round behind Daniel, who's sitting 25th in points. There's no reward for being consistent. I'd like to get your guys' take on it, really the whole league. Maybe next year we could kind of change that. I would like to see, like, if you win the regular season points, maybe you get 10 bonus points to carry over round to round. So maybe, if you're racing for 6th at New Hampshire, it's not worth wrecking. Maybe just finish where you're at so we could have a little more, less wrecking.
Yeah, I think that's a good example you brought up. I'll pull back up the standings. I mean, you do bring up Laraya, who was the top 10 machine at the beginning of the year, and he's 10th in points just because of the way the structure is. And you're right, when the playoffs start, he'll have 0 bonus points. So go ahead, Nick. I know you were going to say something.
Oh, I was going to. How many races do we have left in this season?
I think 4.
So we have 3 races until the playoffs, and then 10 in the playoffs, obviously. So 13 for the year. Yep.
Wow. Okay, it's gonna be pretty close. This is how NASCAR did things the first couple of years of the playoffs. So it did create a little bit more of a wild card situation, right? So that's how Jeff and Ryan Newman made their Final Fours, was because of the way that this was set up. It's set up very similar to this. So I'm not sure if there was a reason why it wasn't kind of changed afterward. I think it would reward you, Andrew, a little bit, and Brandon and a couple of other guys for sure. Because once you get to round 2, it's kind of, at least those first couple of years in real life, it was kind of like a wild card. What could happen, right? You never really knew what could happen. It's just, it really is up in the air. There's a lot more pressure. We're now using like the stage playoff points and keeping the points as they go on. Like the Final Four is for the most part a lot more predictable. You could probably limit it to like 6 or 7 guys in real life. Before it was, I think Ryan Newman made it as like the 14th or 15th seed, and Jeff did the same.
The reason it was changed, right? I think some would argue maybe that's the way it should be. Get some sort of bonus to where you finish in points wise in the regular season that will maybe carry through the rounds, right? I think, Andrew, that's what you're asking for.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be much. Maybe just give the top 10 in points, some points to carry over. Because, I mean, it just sucks when you get to the second round. It's racing. A lap car could take you out in the lead, which happened to me this week. And then, you're going to miss the next round just because you had one bad race. I think you need to have some reward for your, the 20 races before the playoffs. I'd like to see everybody's reaction to that. I mean, obviously, Evan said, we can kind of change things if the drivers want it. If I'm the only one, forget it. But I'm just curious to see what the league's reaction to that would be. Maybe next year. Obviously not this year.
I know Sam's saying that he liked the points before the chase. If that was the case, I think, Andrew, you've already won the championship. We'll send the belt away. I think probably looks like that for most seasons. So I agree with some sort of reward. I do agree with, and I don't know if it was a point for or against it, but with Nick's comment that, with the bonus points, as someone who's an Eric Almirola fan that's very happy with the win, right? He's basically got little to no chance unless he wins to move anywhere into the playoffs because he doesn't have many bonus points for the playoffs, right? And especially, as you go through rounds, I think we look at last year, like that, excuse me, Denny Hamlin and Kevin Harvick were basically like locked into the Final Four from the get-go. And it's like, well, what are you even doing like the next, 9 races, right? We're just focused on Phoenix, right? So I think there's a middle ground somewhere with that. Drew, you with a 15-win season in 2018, I'd like to see how that translates to the win bonus and how you look at the current standings. Like you'd be Final Four, you wouldn't even have to race. I think, certainly there can be an adjustment. I think if we talk about playoff adjustments, it's probably going to be for next year. I don't think it would be right to change the point structure mid-season.
100% agree.
Yeah. 100% agree. So there, you know, Evan did make a comment. So there was a lot of comments yesterday in the chat about single file restarts after one lap. And he brought up a great point. It was something we all voted for in the off season. And certainly he said it could go up for vote again at any time. And we can reevaluate that rule. So maybe that's something we look at doing. You know, moving forward is maybe something like that we can change mid-season, but something like the points we probably couldn't. But I'm certainly open to changing it. Nick and I haven't been in the competition for playoff spots, so I don't know that we've even were aware of what the playoff structure looked like until you just explained it to us.
Yeah, and I still like the win and you're in. I do like that. I just think if you finish first and the points are like 10th, give them bonus points. You don't need that. The win and you're in, I still like. I think it creates a randomness to who's going to get in. I just want some form of reward for, if you're out there and you wreck, you want to come back out and get some points just to finish 10th in points. And actually it means something. That's all I'm looking for. So,
yeah. I was going to say, so let's go back to the full points, full point season, no playoffs. I don't know how people would feel about. I don't know how the fans at home would feel about that.
Yeah, we gotta care about the listeners and the viewers.
I would be fine with a 10-race chase. That would be great, I think. And I think me and Matt showed that can be really entertaining and fun.
Yeah, you guys basically had a 10-race chase.
Yeah. That's true.
Have you found yourself in some weird predicaments trying to make races? So obviously, to win the championship, you have to run most of the races. It is quite a commitment. Nick's talking about going to Evan's house while he's on vacation to run one of the races. Have you had any extreme situations where maybe you've had a difficult time making a race?
I'm bad about. I have 2 computers and like 6 screens that I can bring around and extra wheels. Twice I brought it on vacation. I was bringing up the wheel and steering wheel in a hotel lobby, so they looked at me pretty funny. I've brought it up to Cape Cod when I went up there. So I bring it everywhere. I try to make it a point to make every race. If I'll actually finish the race, you don't know with the setups that I'm on. But
have you won all in a hotel?
No. I drop out of races most of the time when I'm doing that. So
I was going to say, you probably have a weak connection. Yeah. How about on vacation? Have you ever traveled with your stuff and won in RSR?
I came close at Daytona one year, but no. It's something about, I'm not bringing my whole stuff, just kind of maybe one screen and a computer and a wheel. So it's tough when you're on kind of rickety stuff to win like that, especially when you're
Nick Marra won the Clash with rickety stuff. That's why we need to get you some more screens.
Yeah, that's also why I finished last a lot recently and been crashing. So we're getting off the ratchet setup here in the next few weeks, hopefully. But yeah, I agree. I'm sure that's the case. Yeah. If I was good, I would consider hotel driving for sure. 100%. If needed for like 2 hours.
So one of the things we haven't talked about yet that I think when we reached out to you initially, you had said, hey, I'll join later because I'm putting a lot of hard work in the Road to Pro. And I think Road to Pro was a journey for you, round 1. I think it was a big question if you were going to even get to round 2, and you had some I think the last 2 races, you had some really good runs. So can you talk to us a little bit about, obviously Road to Pro is close to your heart. I think we shared this last week. We'll share it again. You're 6th in the standings. You're above the cut line after 1 race, and you have Homestead, I think, this week. Can you talk a little bit to us about what you've done with Road to Pro and how you're feeling about round 2?
Yeah, this is my, I guess, technically 3rd year running it. 2nd year really with a real team. The work that goes into this just to build setups is unbelievable. You have to, practice every single night for 2-3 hours just to, run like 20th. This year was a lot harder. Just you had to make top 70. I got wrecked out of like 3 or 4 races and needed to put together 2 really good ones at the end and got 2nd at Martinsville. And I don't know how the heck I did that because we were running 20th the whole race and somehow weaseled our way into 2nd. And just the preparation that goes into it is insane. You think you put a lot into RSR, it's nothing compared to this. And the guys I race with, Donovan Strauss, we're partnered with Lowline. We do do stuff with Elliott Sadler Esports. And I mean, the stuff that they have to build this setups, you wouldn't believe. They have all the, ride heights and whatnot. It's over my head. I just do laps and try to help them out as much as I can. And I'm lucky enough that they give me the setup and let me race it. So just the work to put into that. I can't even believe the drivers that I'm driving around. I'm like, how did I even get here? So it's insane just to be in it.
I saw you in second in one of the races. Was it Knoxville? Second or third?
I think I shared it out. Martinsville, was it? Where you finished second, I think?
Yep, it was Martinsville. Yeah. I just got lucky on a strategy call and somehow ended up in second. We shouldn't have been there.
Which was big because you were like 130th in points at that point. And then you got the second place finish. I think it was in first split. And so you got a bunch of championship points. And then you were only 12 out going into the last race was it Dover was the last one? Yeah. So are you nervous going into Dover? I mean, it was like, all the marbles are on the table. You're out of the playoff picture going to that point, but you don't know how much is in your control. There's obviously not, other drivers in different splits. You don't know what's going on in those splits, right? So what's the attitude going into a race like that with that much pressure?
Yeah, to be 100% honest with you, with all the work you put in and just the prestige of it, you're nervous every single race. When I roll off the grid, it's like I'm shaking. Again, I don't understand how I got, to race against these guys. But we finished second at Martinsville. I felt really good at Dover. We were running like 6th or 5th. And I don't know if you guys realized, but I hit the pit barrels coming to pit road under a green flag stop.
Marra move.
Yeah. So we had a lot of damage, and that whole race ended up going green, but we were falling back. Like, I think we ended up 12th, 13th. And, I mean, if a caution came out, we were done. So it was extremely nerve-wracking having the damage, falling back, hoping for no caution. And, again, we finished 66th in points, I think, within 2 spots of losing it. So if I didn't hit the pit barrels, we're in no problem. But, I mean, it's easy to make mistakes when you're that nervous and just that competition. And, I don't understand. I'm in top 70, and then I finished 3rd at Knoxville. So we're doing okay. Hopefully we can keep it up. But, I mean, again, I'm just happy to be there.
Yeah, I got to imagine at this point, you're in contention, top 70 in all of iRacing outside of the Coke Series. The Coke Series is like 43 drivers. So you're top almost 100 in the entire sim, which is incredible with the amount of people who play. And I think it's refreshing to hear you be very level set. I know Danson is always at our show, right? And he's very, oh yes, I'm good, and I've been, and so I think it's refreshing to hear. I think it's not necessarily expected that you're kind of feeling this way, so it's good to get in that hear that you have that mindset.
Yeah, I mean, it's such you put so much work and effort into it, and I always feel like I'm under everybody, and I need to just outwork them and outdo everything to be good. I think you can't go in there with a big head and thinking you're just going to be great, because that's when you get beat. Take everything humbly as you can, and just if you do good, it's unexpected, and just take it as it is. That's always my mentality with this. RSR, Road to Pro, really anything.
So what's after Road to Pro? Like what about this? What's after this if you make it past the next round here?
So after this, they take the top 20 in points from us and the bottom 20 from Coke. They smush them together, and then whoever finishes top 20 in that goes to the Coke Series.
Oh, geez. Okay.
Yeah, so we'll go back to the list here. I mean, we've got 6 guys from RSR. I think we talk about the level of competition in RSR. I know Michael and Seth just joined the league, but they're certainly very a part of it. We saw last week both of them competing for the win. 5 out of the 6 guys that made it to Road to Pro. We've got 6 guys, and Matt Danson's not even one of them. We got 6 guys running for an opportunity to be in the Coke Series. 5 of them are in position. I know it's only after 1 race, but 5 of them in position to have that opportunity to race against Coke drivers to be in the Coke Series. So I think that speaks to the level of competition we have here. Certainly exciting, especially for the people running up in the front. I think for those of us in the back, I guess it is opportunity. Because Danson can't win on the ovals. We'll harp on that until he comes back. But yes, I think it's an honor and privilege to be racing with people with the talent that Andrew, that you show us every week. And this is awesome. Yeah.
It's crazy because before Michael and Seth came back, there was, Connor Horn, another guy in top 70, Michael Guerrilla. These are all guys that raced here. It's funny. I kind of feel like I grew up in this league. This is kind of where I learned how to be fast. I learned to be respectful and everything. And I've had the privilege of doing interviews with Evan on Road to Pro, and it's kind of like comfort food. I know how to do an interview with him. So it's just, like I said, it's crazy just to be in there, and these guys running the league just make us so much better. Again, I don't feel like I belong there. I just kind of along for the ride, and whatever happens, happens.
Well, you certainly have proved consistently with us, and I think you are proving in Road to Pro that you do belong. So give yourself some credit, and we're excited about how awesome you've been.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, I guess I don't think Danson's coming back, so he's missing his road course chance to talk about Winter Series opportunities. So, Matt, what else do you have for us?
Yeah, I think he has some detective work that maybe we'll get to at some point, but maybe we go to the power rankings. I know Danson's not here. He probably doesn't want to be here after we look at the power rankings because he didn't have a good week. I'm just using the chat during this meeting. Yeah, he did mention that he's going to get off soon, so we'll see. But I think we should move the power rankings. So I'll go ahead and, I should make sure they're not covered up. Yes, okay.
So how's this going to work for him when he's suspended? Is he going to drop, or is he going to stay kind of?
I think if you don't run the race, you're going to drop, right? So it's pretty inevitable that I think we can predict that Danson's going in the freezer because he's very cold. Because he finished, I think, 34th this week, and he's gonna continue to drop. So I guess the big, number one question should be: is he even on the list, right? Do we think he completely dropped out? He was second last week, so let's go ahead and take a look.
Oh yeah.
You getting your pad ready, Nick?
Yes. Is the answer to that.
Do you still have numbers in the fridge, in the freezer, in the microwave from last week?
I don't think I've got anything in the microwave. I don't think I have anything in the microwave. I do have.
Brandon might have been in the microwave from last week.
Yeah, I do have the people. I haven't been home. I was gone for 5 days, so I went the day afterward. So okay, I dropped somebody, so I'm ready.
Okay, you might have to make some new ones. Okay, who fell out? I don't think these are maybe necessarily surprises. Kyle Trudell, Cody Harris, and Adam de Blasio. Adam got suspended. I think Cody was caught up in multiple accidents, unfortunately, finishing 25th and 27th the last two races. And Kyle Trudell, who I think was also in some of these accidents. Let me grab the last finishes for him.
I don't think Harris will be down there for long because he got Watkins Glen, so I'm sure he'll step it up this week or next week.
Absolutely expect that. Yes, absolutely.
Where did he finish this week? He's been pretty good.
Cody got him, I think, the late race accident. He finished 27th, and he finished 25th last week. De Blasio got suspended, and Kyle Trudell had finished, I think, 35th. So that's why they've dropped out. I think what we've seen with the power rankings is there has been a lot of movement. There is not a lot of this consistency that Andrew speaks of outside of himself, which is why I think, Andrew, you've seen yourself consistently up front here in the power rankings. But it's very all over the place. I feel very bipolar while I'm creating these power rankings because everybody's dropping in and out each week.
I'm curious where we put Daniel.
Yeah. Yeah, let's see it. I mean, was he not? He wasn't even in it, so we have.
Yeah, so 10th is Nick Silver dropping a few spots, probably because I messed up his race. Again, sorry, Nick. You were already running in the back at that point, so I don't know how much you were going to do. But yes, I know I created some additional damage, my lack of talent in the back. Nick finished pretty far back there, so.
He seemed pretty unhappy on the Discord.
Yeah. He still finished 16th, and he was running in the 30s with something like 20 laps to go. So he ended up making it work okay. Lariah, someone who's had a bunch of consistency up until Pocono 4 races ago. He had a top 10 streak, I think, of 10 straight races. And his last 4 races are 30th, 10th, 30th, and 11th. Just, not Not something that's going to stand out necessarily as something that's going to move up. And with some of the new talent that's in the league and some people surging, he went ahead and lost the spot. So, Nick, if you're putting people in the fridge and the freezer, I don't think Lariah should be in the freezer, but maybe Cody Harris is like maybe somewhat there.
He was already there last week.
He wasn't there last week. Okay, yeah. So put him back up there, and I think de Blasio as well. Trudell's only had one bad race, so I don't know that we put Trudell in there yet.
We have a lot of people in the freezer. We have look who showed up.
Hey.
Yep.
Perfect timing. So
can you just rehash everything that's happened over the last hour so I know where we're at?
We're in the power rankings. So Danson, what we haven't gotten to know yet is the detective work that you've done. So we'll get to the detective work at some point here. But yeah, so we're in the power rankings now because I want to go through this.
He was on the phone with sources. So we already had the 6 and the 44 in the freezer.
Really, keep them in there. Keep them in there.
Yeah, they stay.
Freezer. How about the fridge?
Yeah, surely not the freezer. I mean, I guess he only dropped one. Lariah dropped one. I mean,
So you're doing a fridge, freezer.
Lariah in the fridge.
I'll go fridge.
We can put this up a little bit. Yeah. Cody in the fridge. De Blasio's going in the freezer. I mean, he just got suspended.
No, he's going to get scrunched up and put in the bin as well.
I don't want to get wrecked by him if he ever comes back. So
can you? Okay, what I want you to do for de Blasio's, scrunch it up, chuck it on the floor, stomp on it, and then put it in the bin.
Wow.
I will crunch it up and throw it in the trash. You know why I'll do that? Because he did. Because when something happened, when you guys saw him on the backstretch, just sitting there. What he did before that was go up in turn 1, stop in the middle of the track, and then come down right in front of me. I had to brake. He almost took me out I wasn't on purpose, but for no good reason. And I lost like 3 seconds of time. So that's
he's a jackass.
I didn't understand what was going on there. So when I saw the suspension, I was like, okay.
So I did reach out to Adam for comment. I did not receive one.
What did he say? Oh, damn it! I can only imagine.
I didn't receive any. Yeah, apologies. We'll see if we hear something back. Maybe we'll post on Twitter or something. So we'll go back to power rankings. Yeah, put them in the freezer. Okay, so we got top 8. Somehow Danson still hasn't been announced yet after his 2-race suspension.
I should be out. Let's be honest.
You will be. I think. There's not enough consistency, right? So even the guys that are out, Lariah and Silver, they haven't shown the speed that you've shown this year. So that's why you're not here yet. Chris Rabel is next here. Some average finishes, right? 7th, 15th, 7th, and 18th at New Hampshire. Nothing sexy. I don't know that I'd put him in the fridge yet.
I wouldn't put him anywhere yet.
Nothing that's going to gain you spots, right? And I think that's, again, when I create the power rankings, it's very evident there's a lack of consistency, and I think it's the high level of competition. There we go. Number 7. I mean, you got to put Danson in the freezer. He lost 5 spots. He's suspended for 2 races.
Yay!
You can deep freeze him after that suspension was upheld.
That's a deep freeze
as well.
No, you're not a bin. You're not a bin guy.
Okay.
Because you've won a couple of races, so.
Yeah, that's why I mean, that's why I can't put you back further, right? Is you've won. I think you've won 2 races. You've won 1.
You've won too many races.
I mean, realistically, Loudon should have been a top 5 at absolute worst, right? Like if that race just goes like normal and it's based on speed, it's a top 5, no problems at all. But like Sam says, it's like a obviously speed and skill plays a big factor, but just not getting caught with in junk is like almost as much of a factor, I feel, unless you've got someone running a special caution scheme whenever you require it, I'm kidding.
You're kidding until we get into the details right after the power rankings.
I'm so confused.
Yes.
I'm so interested to see what you
Yes. So I'm going to go up 2 here. We'll talk about it. I'm going to step away for a second. We'll go up to some new guys entering the discussion. Rhett, I think Rhett finished 5th, and Seth DeMerchant almost won. So, and I know, Matt, maybe you can talk a little bit about your teammate there.
Sure, I guess. He's
See the way he ran away right there? He just ran away.
He's he's a really cool guy. He likes long walks on the beach.
Sounds like my type of guy.
Yeah.
Wow. Sounds like every Tinder profile as well. Yeah. Sure, he enjoys traveling and pineapple on pizza as well. But yeah. Okay, sorry.
Yeah.
I have him a little higher, honestly.
Yeah.
Yeah, true. I think, well, I guess because he got wait, didn't he? Oh no, he didn't do the previous race, did he? He slept through that one. So I think that's why he's only just creeping up into P5. I think Matt
for him that he had so much speed with that damage, though. I don't know. If we're basing it on finish, I get it, but I think I'd have a little higher.
Yeah, he's going to be a force.
Is he a road course though? Is he a road course? Oh, he's not.
No, he's literally one of the best. Like, he's up there with Drew as far as being one of the best on the oval scene. But he can wheel it on a road course, definitely.
Okay,
it's not as good as me, but
Does he still run that really low steering box on road courses?
He does it everywhere. He runs it everywhere.
I run 16-1, and he's running what, 6 or 8?
8. He runs 8 everywhere, every track.
Crazy. I can't.
It's obscene.
I'd be wrecking everywhere.
He also uses a formula rim on ovals, which
really
again, that's just disgusting.
How are you running 8-1 and not ripping the tires off your car?
Yeah. It just depends on how you wheel it. So like he would just have very little wheel input. Like that's my thing is don't get too caught up in what like the ratio that you run is usually more just about driver preference. So if you like to put heaps of wheel in it, then having like a 16-1, like Andrew mentioned, is super useful because then you're not you still feel comfortable as a driver, but you're not sort of oversteering essentially. Whereas, you can get away with having an 8-1. You can just only put like 2 degrees of wheel into it at any moment, So,
jeez, wow. And then yay for Rhett. Rhett's had some really good runs.
Yeah,
he's had some. I don't know what his finishes were, Matt, but he's been running significantly better. I feel like.
I think it comes to maybe a little bit of a surprise to us, but maybe it shouldn't. So I went, when I was looking at Drew's stats. I think it was the 2017 or 2018 season. Rhett was in the Final Four. So, he's had speed. He's won races. I think he's won 4 Cup races. So, we're a little bit newer, but certainly, this is Rhett's been around for a while, and he's had speed. So I think he's gotten better throughout the season, at least from what I've seen racing with him last year and this year. Certainly, there's an improvement there. Okay. Number 4, Agnell Phillip. Again, I don't think there's going to be much controversy at the top. So Agnell finished 12th this week, but 6th and 2nd the 2 weeks prior to that. He's got the 3rd best average finish over the last 3 races.
He would have won Atlanta if we didn't get a caution. He was at the outside of Brandon there and just get screwed by that. He had speed. I mean, I think I passed him once, but he was flying there.
Yeah, he's fast.
Yeah, he has been really fast recently, so good for him. Okay. All right.
I don't think I may be going from a not ranked to 3rd place, but Daniel has been hot the last 2 weeks. He's been finishing races, right? So I think he dropped out. Well, he didn't drop out. He actually had some pretty terrible finishes before he didn't race at Road America. 40th, 35th, 33rd, and 23rd. Then sat out Road America, but then the last 2 races, 3rd and 1st. And I mean, he's got winning speed whenever he's 100% in it, right? So, it's go time. He's got to get top 25 in points, and he's done that now. And he's getting ready for
it. And Matt, you weren't here when I was talking about this. He's one of those guys who could show up with no practice and be flying. You can do that as well. I can't. I need hours and hours of practice to be where you guys could just show up and fly. I don't understand how you do it. It's crazy.
That's lies. You could.
I'm telling you right now.
No, you missed it.
I've been horrible all season anyway, so I don't think I can even do it.
His last, did you not see the stats? His last 6 solo finishes are Marra Motorsports-esque. So
Really?
I know. I'm agreeing with you.
Oh,
I mean,
wait, me or Andrew?
No, you.
No,
You.
we need to go back to this
Yeah, what
one.
the
I mean,
hell?
we went through this, Danson. We need to
Yeah, I
rehash
was
this
gonna
one
say-
where I beat you
Yeah,
for the last
exactly.
6 solo races.
Exactly. See, I need all the practice in the world, evidently, because I'm running like trash.
Yeah, but you've been wrecked a lot. I mean, you have speed to just be up there
That's
right
true.
from the start.
You have been
Yeah,
wrecked.
but
You have
this-
been wrecked a decent amount, a surprising amount, I would say.
Yeah.
For
The
sure.
stats don't lie, though. I can't argue with those results.
No.
It's I've dropped to Marra Motorsport levels. That's
There you
where
go.
I'm at right now.
And that's why a Marra Motorsports driver is about to take your car for the next 2 weeks. So.
I'm so excited about it. I don't even think I'll be able to sleep tonight. That's how excited I am. I'm just gonna be so nervous for my opportunity. I can't wait to get those Altus Esports setups, and the rig. This is gonna be fantastic.
For 2 races, they're gonna ship it to your house.
Yeah, exactly. They're gonna ship it. They're gonna ship it by walk-ins.
Or they're gonna ship you to the Altus Esports house.
That's true. They're gonna fly me out. I think they're flying me out actually.
Yeah.
So I can
We're
do
in lockdown now, so you got no chance. Even if we wanted to, there's just
Even if we wanted to. Okay. You're right. No, it's that's the excuse. That's a bad excuse. Of course you want to. I'll take the coronavirus as an excuse, but okay.
Yeah. If it wasn't for lockdown, you would be in the house right now.
I know. I get free flights out to Australia, so
you can't bring you a jar of Coke because that'll get you locked up for years.
I don't think I can get it past PSA. I mean, like I said, that is actually a candle. That is a candle. I don't think I would just leave that out for everyone at RSR to see.
Just a banana.
I know I'm cool. I don't need that to be displayed, right? Okay, so like, anyway, so I assume 2 and 1 if we look at it. Drew, I don't think you're going to be.
No,
Yeah.
it should be Brandon. Yeah.
Okay, I was going to
100%.
say. I was wondering if Matt was going to use his bias to put you as number 1. Yeah.
Brandon's been on some run, man. I can't even express.
He could have won. He could have won this week too. I think they were saying he messed up at the end. The opportunity.
I think he turned Cozy there or got into. I don't know what happened. I just know I nearly killed Cozy there.
They had a bit of a run in for a little while. It was weird because I feel like Brandon could have because he had the tire advantage at that point in time. He was flying. I feel like he probably, if he had to just focus more on just getting the pass done, he probably would have been fine. But it seemed like he was really focused on, like, I need to move him to get the pass done. And when that sort of, when you get distracted from, like, I've had this with other races where I'm like, why was I so determined to make one particular move when I should have just changed it up and gone, to the outside or done this or done that, and I feel like he might have been a bit too fixated on one particular move rather than being, changing up. But yeah, in the end, he turned Cozy and it kind of set him back. It enabled Daniel to get on with things and get the job done.
Was Cozy, just because I'm more curious than anything, was he?
He agrees. Yeah. 100%.
What?
There we go. Hell yeah.
Good job,
So
Danson.
so Brandon, do you feel like you were too fixated on making that bottom work or something, or like what do you think in review? It'll be interesting to see what he says. We just have to wait. We'll wait silently and watch the chat. Here we go.
Nick, what were you gonna say?
Oh, how was he running?
He was leading in second. I mean, he was top 5 the whole race.
Oh man, this series is just going to be too stacked at the top in like 2 weeks.
We had Altus. 3 of the top 5 were Altus for that first little while until the pit stops really kind of threw things massively.
Interesting. We got your answer, Danson.
Good job.
Yeah, so that's what I figured because I've been in that exact same position, multiple times, and I watch back on stuff afterwards. I'm like, what the hell am I doing? Why didn't I just because you get so zoned in that one particular, at least for me anyway, I get so zoned in a particular mindset or move that you stop having that broad view of what's going on. So, yeah.
That was me with Michael Kaczynski at Pocono.
The level of competition there, yeah, is same comparison. Nick Marra versus Michael Kaczynski. Yes.
It's probably better, but on that day I was. But no, I got that. So good job, good power rankings. It takes a lot to get to the microwave, but I feel like there's Andrew, you need to probably win a couple races and you can get back. Your expectations are just so high that for you to get
right? What the hell?
Yeah, finishing third and fourth puts you in the freezer.
That literally did happen.
That's what happened. That is what happened. You're right. You went from like third to fourth. Yeah. So it's a good thing. That's a good problem to have. That's a good problem to have for sure.
So I got another replay that I'd be really interested to know the inner thoughts of Andrew Faryniarz. Can you please, Matthew Marra, can you please bring up? Actually, I think Farouk, where did I have the? I had the timestamp somewhere. I need you to go to Michigan Winter Series. All right. Now we had a bit of a coming together just before pit stops, but I'm interested to know, Drew. Like, did you at the time assume that I had just driven straight up into you? Did you look at it afterwards? What was your vibe?
Jeez.
Do you remember the incident that I'm referring to?
Yes. I was coming to pit road. I think we got together. I don't really remember what happened. I have a tendency to kind of like, I got damage. Okay, let's deal with it. Not why did it happen, or I don't. I'd have to see it again to be honest. But I think I called out pitting and we came together. I don't remember how or why. Could have been my fault. Could have been your fault. I don't know. I didn't look at it. I didn't. Yeah. Go ahead.
It was neither. So essentially, I'm sure Matt is racing through the thing right now to find it. Yeah. But hang on, let me see if I'll try and grab it in the meantime as well, so I can give you what the time.
This is after a long run or what?
Yeah, we're just about to pit. I think it was like lap 68. Around that sort of mark. We're just about to pit, and and
it brings out the caution.
No,
there's no caution. No caution.
Okay. Wow, we really did go green that for a long time there. Okay.
I think that whole race went green, didn't it? Interesting.
No, there was cautions at the beginning.
There was one early yellow. Yeah.
Interesting story about that race. I wasn't even supposed to be there. I was supposed to have a go-kart race up in Pennsylvania, and that ended up getting canceled because of COVID.
So you do some real-life racing?
Go-karting, I mean, on the side. Nothing real.
Are you hoping that goes somewhere?
No, I mean, it's just like a local place. I don't really do anything competitive-wise. I mean, I love it too, but I think this day and age, I'm too old to start doing any of that anyway.
I guess we ask everyone, how old are you?
23.
Too old for 23? We're all in our 30s here. Not that we have now. But...
A lot of money to race these days.
Yeah.
So it must be around about lap 61, I'm going to say. Hang on, let's see.
Oh, okay.
So okay.
So I have it.
The replay
yeah. Well, Andrew, you were unsponsored. What were you doing unsponsored with almost the championship winning?
It's lap 60. Lap 60. Yeah, I got it. So what happened was I got a really good run on you, Drew, through 1 and 2. And then I heard you say that you were pitting.
Yeah.
And I was like, there is no way that I'm...
Where's me? I was on the bottom. I was on the bottom of the screen. I don't know if you saw that big bright orange. Eric Stanford.
Oh my god! Yeah, I remember I had significant enough damage that it affected me. I don't know. I don't. In the moment, all my thought was, let's try to get to pit road the next side because I wanted to pit there, and I was kind of upset that I didn't get to pit. And then once I came down and had the damage, it was just kind of hold on. But I don't know. In the moment, I'm not really thinking, screw him. I'm kind of thinking, how am I going to deal with the situation at hand?
That's fair. Now we've got another one where I want to be in the mind of yourself. Can you go to Montreal Winter Series, please?
I'm just going to state this now. You were a ton faster than me. Okay? I was just holding you up the whole freaking race, and I knew that. So when you ran me over, trust me, I knew. I need to get out of his way.
I think I almost wrecked you at least once or twice per lap. It felt like,
and
right?
that was,
and it was, yeah,
that was
100% fair. What lap?
Okay, so we want to go to the pit stops, which will be around about lap.
Go
to
you guys
lap
split it in
17.
half, or?
Yeah, so I think I pit on 17, and then Andrew comes in the lap after. So I came out in a lot of traffic actually, and this was really fortunate. But then Drew, I don't know what happens. I think you were like 1 mile an hour over. Is that what it was? Was it just like one?
When I was leaving pit road, I went for like 46 out of 45. It just nailed me.
Jesus Christ. But that was like, it's unfortunate too, because we came out like when you exit the pits. So if you go to around about like 45, 50 on the timestamp there.
Oh, 45. Okay.
45, 50, yeah, I think thereabouts. So if you didn't get a penalty here, I feel like this.
I don't know what exciting would be. I was slowing you up a lot, and I know that. Trust me. How interesting it would have been. Right. Yep.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that would have been good.
So, Andrew, where did you end up finishing in this race?
6th or 5th, which is funny because our points championship was what, 2-3 points? That was kind of the deciding factor looking back at it.
Yeah, Sam made the comment in the chat, yeah.
And
he'll take it however he can get it.
You did make a comment last week, Matt, about not having contingencies on one of the weeks, because one of the weeks I had a penalty for that as well. So we evened each other out there.
Yeah, because I got done for the for running 30, I think it was. I think it was 30. So I ran the wrong number and got the penalty point there. So, well, that's good. At least that evened out. And then, all right, the only other thing to watch through, I would love a live react on if you can take us to Vegas. I know, right? Hey, he loves this. If we go to Vegas, and let's just go to like, hang on,
the burnouts after you won the championship.
No. So if I remember this race right, I was killing it. Like I was. This was the race of my life at this point in time. Like just out front, obviously you had your difficulties in quali, and you were having to come through the field. I was just out front, just like loving life. And then we got a yellow in green flag stops, right?
Yep.
Yeah. And then when do we restart? Let's have a look. Because
Andrew won the race.
Last, yeah, Andrew won the race, exactly. But I'm pretty sure, did you hang on, we'll find out. If you go back to about, hang on, timestamp it at
lap 109, the restart.
Yeah, let's do that. Let's watch a little bit of it, and we can skip ahead if we need to. But so at this point in time, so you are on this restart. Where is Andrew?
Slightly off on the timing. You're gonna call it out every time. Okay.
6, yes. No, I think you're quite a ways back. I think like 12th probably.
How about Brian Chambliss with that start there?
Oh yeah. You got the wave round or lucky dog or something of that, and then you got another caution. I think that was it. Yeah. I'm thinking I need to get to the lead as fast as possible. No, Matt, I know you. You're fast. I mean, they like to make fun of you on ovals, but you kicked everyone's butt here in the Winter Series. I knew you were going to get to probably second, third, so I had to go as fast as I could. And I mean, this race was so hard to pass everybody. Yeah. Two there. Yep.
Yeah, Marius, yeah. Yeah, he's top of
Yep.
Oh.
I knew at this. Yeah, I knew at this moment though, because you led a lap in the most laps. You had to finish like fourth or worse, and at this point, I'm knowing it's over because you're right on Daniel, who's right behind me. Yeah, I kind of knew the writing on the wall.
Ooh. Ooh. Is that what you wanted us to see? That was a moment. You still got him. You still got him.
Who won this race?
Andrew did.
He got his wish. We get to watch it all, right?
This is replacing my class this week. I'll let you have it. I'll let you have it this week.
There was all the controversy around Phoenix I thought we were going to talk about. At some point, we're just going to watch Danson win his Xfinity Series championship.
Yeah.
We'll call it right. That's what she said. Like you did with Dominic on the last lap.
Yeah.
You missed our whole conversation.
I'm curious, like what do like Seth and Michael think when they come in and they see like that's their first, like yesterday is like their first oval representation of like the series. Do they have a comment or are they just like no?
They've actually been here before. Michael and Seth, they ran in 2018.
Okay.
Reasons, I guess, that we're sort of still encountering now, evidently. But as far as I know, I think, you know, like they've competed in other leagues. Seth, he prefers like open setup stuff, but you know, in other leagues when they've competed, it's much of the same sort of mess in a lot of ways. But I don't think Loudon is a good measure of a league, to be honest, because it's like going to Martinsville and they'd be like, oh wow, why did everyone wreck? You know, so we'll see it on the other. I felt like for some of the other races we've had have not been anywhere near as scrappy. And realistically, we went green for a long time, so we've got to look at the positives as well.
Yeah.
But I think I don't think the single I apologize, I missed some of your chatter before, but I don't think the single file restarts does what it intends to do.
Yeah, so that's one of the things we talked about with Evan yesterday, that will likely go up to a revote, right?
Yeah.
Well, we will revote that, and I think that'll be something we don't do moving forward, but we do need to revote that at some point. And Evan's open to that.
Yeah. Because I don't think that's... Okay, sorry, go ahead, Dan.
We were talking too, Matt, about how this is kind of 10 race. Like, everything you've done on the track matters for your points position. And the way I don't know if you know the way the playoff system works, but for real sim, it's just, wins are your bonus points and they only count for round 1, and that's it. So I think if you have more of a system that rewards, points paying division, so if you finish first, second, whatever, and you get more bonus points, I think people might be a little more cleaner. But that was kind of the gist. We had that conversation before.
Yeah, I agree. Sam wants you to show the finish, Matt. What are you doing? Why have you stopped it?
Andrew already took the lead. Danson, you're in 4th. The championship's already secure. We need to watch the last 5 laps.
Yeah, because I still have a couple more dips at Daniel, and it's all happening. Come on, what the hell?
Okay,
the end was legit. Exactly.
Okay, well,
see, give the people what they want.
Again.
Yeah. Let's see.
I realize everybody's so passionate about that. Okay, we'll go back to it.
It's like, let's pull it up from the restart and start it all over again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Relive.
Matt, do you know you haven't won at this point?
Yes, because I think I'd done the math to know that I just needed to finish. Yeah, I think it was 4th
or better. If you led the most laps, it was 4th or better.
Yeah, so that's why, for me, because I was like, far out. If Andrew gets pole, I might not even lead 1 lap. Because we'd had that with some of the other. I think it was like IRP. I qualified like P2 or P3 or something, and never got to lead a lap. And whereas you led the most, if not all of them, I think. But so I was like, I've really got to. This is a time that I actually put focus into, practicing hot lap and all that sort of thing. See, look at that! Look how close that is. He was giving me nothing at all.
So you've got the championship locked up, and you decide you're going to make it 3 wide with 4 laps to go.
Well, yeah, I'm a racer. You got to go for it. But look at Sam go. Yeah, it's also my guy Kyle. Well, that's questionable. He knew I was seconds faster. Sure. The 2 car is very nice. That's wonderful work from Justin Rowden. But it was also actually on the note of paint schemes. It was a bit brave of me to run with the gold scheme for the last race.
Yes.
A bit presumptuous, but it worked out. Luckily, it would have been awkward as hell if I'd lost. But where's my train of thought going here? Oh, that's right. Yeah. So I was like, I have to do well in Q. If I do not do well in Q, that could be race over right there. Because I think if you had led the most laps and I didn't get to lead a lap, I don't think P2 was enough. Like if you win, you know what I mean?
Right.
Because you would get an additional point for, you get an additional point for leading, additional point for most laps led. I would have no offset with bonus points, and you'd get I think it's plus 3 points when you win.
Yeah, it was something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, so I think you would have won it by a point, if that was the case. So I was like first and foremost, I have to be up front so I can at least get 1 bonus point, and then go from there. Yeah.
That was just one of the most legendary championship battles I've ever seen in ours. It was fun. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah. And we were going back and forth as well those last few races. Yeah, exactly. Bring the chase back. Fuck yeah.
Because it
was there. What the fuck?
It was one race where.
Huh? Are you happy winning this race at this point? Are you excited?
I was happy to win it, and my first thought was, I'm not going to do a burnout. It's Matt's championship. Matt earned it. I did a Polish victory lap. That was it. I wanted to just give him the glory of the fame. That was my thing. Is don't ruin his celebration.
Yeah.
You could have ruined his celebration.
Okay.
It was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun. Indy Road. Oh man, that was a fun race. That was one of my better races, I feel.
I don't understand how you guys go that fast and don't burn your rear tires. It blows my mind.
So those VRS pedals.
I don't have them yet. I'm still.
I know. I was giving you a sponsorship layup there, and you just threw it away.
No, well, that's what I mean. Like when I get them, look out! I'll be winning on ovals as well. Finally.
When are they? Are they being shipped from America? So it's going to take like a few months, or
no? They'll come from here. They've got to fulfill the back orders because they've only just released not too long ago. So, but yeah, I don't know. I think the key is just not getting excited on the throttle, and also I think that your braking also has an impact on how the tires survive,
right?
And just all that. Like it all plays into it little by little, and it just builds and builds and builds. And once you start losing a little bit of grip, it just gets worse because you start to get a little bit of slip, and then it just it's good night.
It blows my mind though. You outbrake me in the quarter, and you still have more grip. You got to teach me one day.
He does that by like
Danson school.
Seconds, so.
Yeah. You can come across to Altus. Don't worry about Nick. You can come to Altus, and then
it somehow automatically pick up those 10 seconds. I mean, like it was just the pedals the whole time. The pedals and the wheel and the setup had nothing to do with skill. That's exactly what it was.
Exactly.
There was nothing wrong with that G29 you have. It just wasn't enough.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Now, so hang on. What's Sam? Oh, he's still just talking about me telling him not to pass. So
yes.
What else did I miss? What else did I miss while I was way up?
So I think we have one thing left, and I know we're encroaching on our longest episode ever, which I don't think we were necessarily surprised at hitting. I know, Danson, you missed like an hour of the show, so you're anxious to gain that hour back. But I do want to be a little conscious of time. I know, Matt, the one thing that you look like you wanted to talk about, and so I'll toss it over to you if you want to talk about it, is the Phoenix controversy and your detective work. So should we go to that? Do you have any questions for Drew on that one?
No, I feel like I feel bad because it's like obviously it was it was a I don't know if do you guys use the phrase piss take in the States? Like what would be the equivalent? I got to try and translate that here. Like just taking the Mickey. Shit talking. Yeah, just having a laugh. Whatever. I think like I think it got. I can understand from Andrew's point of view as far as he's looking to have a particular vibe that's out there and that sort of thing, and so the questioning whether it's legit or not, it's
we know it is. We know it's legit. I think I went back and I watched the replay and I heard I just heard your voice, Drew. I think you talk about it with Danson here. You're like, I mean, I didn't win, but I enjoyed that championship battle. That was amazing, right? And after Phoenix, you can almost hear it in your voice. You're like, yeah, I'm glad I won. I didn't really want to win it that way, but given the circumstances, I won, so I'm still happy, and you still should be. Obviously, you had no control over whatever happened. So, want to reemphasize that. Obviously, you're awesome, but Danson, you did throw out some stats. I know you did some detective work.
No, this wasn't me. This was not
you. Oh,
this was not me. This was not me.
Danson. Okay.
No. This is not me. This was sent to me.
It was also sent to me. I thought you were sending it around. So I guess we have another person, another source, anonymous source.
I forwarded it to you from the anonymous source. I won't say who they were because that's unfair. It's no one on my team and no one named Sam. So we'll just clarify it's not them. But an anonymous source put these numbers together, which I thought were funny. We'll see. We'll see. Yeah, I'm squirming because I feel bad because I feel like Drew is.
I thought you were asking. I thought you were asking me to put these numbers up. So.
No, this was no. But all right, can you talk to the numbers though?
So
it's your job. You're the host.
I think they completely have to. He's gonna walk away. You're the one who sent me the numbers and asked me to put this up. So
I didn't ask it.
Okay. So I think a lot of these numbers are taken completely out of context, but the numbers with Steve Durham in the race look a lot better. Durham was not in the race last night, last night, and Andrew didn't win. So I think that goes contrary to what is displayed here.
Favorite race?
Yeah, like he was on vacation. So, or I think he was out of town for work or something. Yeah.
Yeah, it was a work thing. Yeah.
So the
His hometown,
20 isn't necessarily alarming. I honestly think these numbers are complete coincidence. But somebody did spend the time.
Obviously, they are completely.
They're obviously completely out.
To be fair, it is pretty
completely
funny.
out of context here.
When they got sent to me, I did have a good laugh because it's ridiculous, but the fact that it lines up is just hilarious. And I guess it goes to the I guess it goes to the. I don't know if any of you guys are aware of the religion Pastafarianism. So it's basically like an anti-religion, and essentially they had the argument that causation does not or correlation, does not equal causation. So they had the argument that as the number of pirates, the flying spaghetti monster, exactly, the number of pirates, the population of pirates throughout the world, as that decreased, global warming and climate change increased. And so they were saying clearly it was the reduction of pirates that caused climate change. The point there being that you can't just look at two separate things and go, oh, there's clearly a link there. And that's essentially what's happening here. But it's just, to me, I just find it funny. And yeah, I don't know where I'm going with that.
I think maybe we leave it at there.
What do you think, Drew? What do you think of those numbers?
I don't know what you want me to say, Matt. Steve has cost me many races because he can't keep the damn car straight. All right, that's me keeping park.
That's
perfect.
The
content we're after.
We love that.
Yeah, no, that's fair. All right. Well, look, the only reason we had to bring it up was because Nick Silver had personally messaged me and asked that I bring it up again. So, he's a big fan of this line of questioning. So, that's all.
Was Nick Silver your source on the stats there? I guess no comment, right?
I can't divulge the sources.
Okay. Matt's sources are as everyone in the garage. So it could really be anybody depending on who it is. Danson was probably Sam. You got like one source. I feel like you got one source.
It wasn't Sam. It definitely wasn't Sam. It definitely wasn't me. So don't blame me. It was just see, Sam says it wasn't him. It was a surprising third party that just, I think, enjoys the banter. They just enjoy.
And we're just having fun. Obviously, the numbers mean nothing.
The numbers might be completely made up. They might be trolling me by sending that to me, and it might be completely not the case at all.
Somebody put their time into creating those numbers and sending, which I come up with a bunch of numbers. I know how much time it takes. So I appreciate somebody else doing the work for sure. What I will say, you look back at the numbers of the 2020 season, Andrew, your numbers were ridiculous last year. Like, you were obviously a deserving champion. I think, I don't want to talk about those numbers, but can you talk a little bit about winning the championship last year and what that meant to you?
Yeah, I mean, any time you put in as much effort and as work as you do, it feels great. But again, I felt bad. A guy comes out many laps down. He should have been parked and spun out. And I think it cost Michael a championship. And what do you want me to do in that situation? Just pull over? I worked all year.
Did you know what happened? I think a lot of people didn't necessarily know what happened until maybe way after.
I had no idea. I'm racing. We had one set of tires left. Michael was out front. The field was spread out, and he was probably going to win that. And I have no idea. He came out from laps down. He caused 2 cautions prior to that and should have been parked. And I'm even surprised he was let back in the league, to be honest. I don't know why. And he went and spun out. I don't know why. I had nothing to do with it. I'm going to read it. I'll look right at the camera, Danson. I had nothing to do with it. Okay? Okay? You want to look? I'm fine with everything. Just don't call me a cheater. I want to be respected.
We definitely don't think you're. We definitely don't think that. Absolutely, we know you're not. And I don't think anyone necessarily even knew what happened when it happened at Phoenix. Not even Michael. I don't even think that team knew until they maybe reviewed after. Definitely surprising. At the same time, it would have been quite impressive if the strategy did work out, because you were leading before the off strategy almost worked, right? So that's not even to say that a caution doesn't come out and change it regardless, right? So I don't even necessarily believe that Steve dramatically impacted the finish. I mean, obviously he was the caution, right? But who says a caution doesn't come out in the next 10 to 15 laps? You look at RSR the way it is today and how many cautions we have. So I don't even necessarily believe that storyline, right? But
did I hear right that you guys were saying earlier? Like I unmuted briefly during my meeting before, but did Andrew win 15 races last year, or was that a different season?
It was 2019.
2019, 2 years ago. Yeah.
How many did you get? How many did you get last year?
It's like 9.
10. I think 8. I could look that up.
And if there wasn't this fraudulent playoff system, would you have just walked it home?
No, actually, me and Michael Lariah were tied for the regular season points. It was either won or tied. Yeah.
Oh shit! But
Lariah only had 3 wins. Lariah had 3 wins, and
point-wise, we were tied. Point-wise, going into the playoffs. Yeah.
Oh, regular season.
Regular season points. We were tied going into that last. I think ended the last race. We were either 1 point or tied.
That's hectic. That just shows that the playoffs are ridiculous. NASCAR is stupid, and they should just stick to a regular point format, because, quite often you end up with, exciting seasons just on a regular points. You don't need to do this artificial kind of, last man standing sort of situation on the last race. Just let it play out so it's organic and it's legit.
And I think the big thing is you're trying to create a Game 7 moment every year, and it doesn't. It kind of takes the specialness away of a Game 7 moment.
Yeah, I agree.
But that's
a good point, because that's the reason why Game 7 is exciting, is because it's built up from this whole sequence of events. Not, they don't put these random obstacles to be like, okay, you've made it here, now we're just going to level everything out and you just have to, it's only a Game 7. But yeah, it sounds like, from what I'm seeing there, because I didn't actually even see the race, to be honest, but from what I can see there, from what Sam was saying and what Matt was saying, it sounds like Steve just leveled the score. he brought balance to the force in the other caution, so it's fine. It's all equal. But the controversy was funny. I'm not gonna lie, it was fun.
I'm gonna get you a detective hat. Play into the.
Well, my next
persona.
I'm onto a new controversy now. So I can forget this one now. It's the controversy.
Controversy.
Well, is it Evans out to get you? Is that it?
Yes, exactly. RSR is xenophobic. That's what it is. They're out to get Australians, and I'm gonna leave no stone unturned in confirming it. Every incident from now on must be an instant suspension for everyone. Otherwise, it's bias.
I think what we're gonna do, Danson, what we need to do is we'll make it a goal for each one of the next 3 episodes. We'll uncover one of the anonymous admins who did not overturn your appeal, and we'll reveal who they are and why they were against you. So we can truly uncover it. Yes.
Yep.
We need to understand why it wasn't over.
Is De Blasio one of the admins secretly?
Oh, I think it's him and his brother, or 2 of them. So you stood no chance. I think Thomas George is the third. So it's really just, you've got absolutely no shot at it.
Hey, I love Thomas George. I can relate to him and his antics on his stream, because I feel like that's how I am. Where in the initial moment you just say whatever is front of mind without even really considering it or thinking about it. And then after the fact, you're like, oh, that was mean or whatever, and then it comes full circle because like, Thomas George is always really nice. Like he's actually a really cool guy.
That's an accidental segue into our schedule. So we have Thomas George on next week. I think everybody's gonna be looking forward to that. After the IROC race, the After the Turns crew is announcing next week. So please, everybody show up to the IROC race next week because Nick, Danson, and I are going to be calling it and trying to do our best Evan and Nolan impressions on Race Spot TV. We need a field there in order to announce it, so please show up because we're going to have a lot of fun.
Can I serve my suspension through the IROC races?
I think so.
I don't think that's mentioned in the rule book. I don't think that's said in the rule book.
You going to get a lawyer to find a loophole now?
Yeah, I think I'm going to have to.
Because anonymous sources will get right on that. Yeah. Andrew, if you race, Andrew, I feel like you don't usually race the IROC. If you do,
no,
just start at the end of the field for us if you could, and give us some action to talk about before you get to the front.
I was telling. I don't even own the car, to be 100% honest.
Yeah, we were talking about it. Yeah.
You say that you don't, but if you bought it that night about an hour before, you'd probably win still. So.
Super speedway racing, I'm kind of out.
Yeah. Yeah. It is. Where is it? Auto Club? Kind of. Okay. There it is. So, okay. So, man, Braden he left for 2 hours and came back, and he didn't miss the class talk. We're actually going to talk about it real quick. No, we're not. I'm so tired. I can't do it anymore. I've been laboring for like an hour and a half, so I can't. We got to get to the end. So. Andrew, obviously, thank you so much for. Oh no, we're not.
He's playing it. He's playing it.
Oh no!
Bad joke. We're not gonna.
I feel like the crash is more important than the clash. The that one.
Oh yeah,
that's the one I like saying.
The crash is my new favorite. Yeah, the crash is my new favorite. Yeah. Anyway. Oh my God! There are some friends I need to show that video because of how hilarious it is. Okay, I'm gonna be doing that tomorrow. Thank you for reminding me. I knew I forgot something this weekend. Yes, I need to show that. Anyway, okay. So obviously, Andrew, thank you so much for joining us. Obviously, the best in our league for sure, without a doubt. With that said, who would you like to thank? Sponsors, people, all that.
I've learned from the other people. I got to say thank you to you guys for the podcast. Honestly, I do a lot of mowing with my job and weed whacking it. It's something really good to listen to. So to all three of you, I really do enjoy it. The Sim Racer film, the first ever actual sponsor I've had on the car. So big thanks to them coming on. Everybody at Lowline and Elliott Sadler Esports for all the help with Road to Pro, and Evan putting the league on, and all the fans. I know there has to be some fans that watch every week, and I hope we put on a good show. And all the drivers, I really do love racing against every single one of you Monday nights. Maybe we get heated sometimes, but the personalities and just the drivers, I love everything about it.
Andrew, do you ever get heated? I don't think I've ever seen Andrew heated. You were so level-headed and fun to race with. Usually you're lapping me or passing me with fresher tires. But I know it's been awesome racing you as well.
I do get mad about one thing, and that's the new Cup car, about how easy it is to drive, but we won't get into that.
Oh yeah, we meant that. We should have gotten into it. We should get in. I feel like that's why, when we start having people on a second time, we forget all of these things because they did want to ask about that. We did, but
well, aren't we just doing like an intermission? Then we're coming back for another 4 hours. I don't know how this is working.
It's only 18 a.m. time. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just getting started for me. It's 4 p.m. right now. Let's keep going.
The crazy thing is that it's 2:18 Eastern a.m. and we have 14 viewers right now. So thanks to everyone who's watching us still.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, we're pretty pumped about that. If you listen the whole time and you haven't already, go ahead and follow us so you get notifications when we go live in the future.
And if you have been listening all episode, you heard that 3 times already. So if you haven't done it,
it's the second time I brought it up in 15 hours. So don't need to be so heated there. Yeah. I'll go ahead and thank our sponsors real quick, and then Danson can thank his too. So Gabadell Technologies, Mercury Energy, who's on the car for the last 2 races where I finished 12th and 24th and beat Danson both weeks. Sim Racing Studio for jumping on board for the last 10 races that we announced last week for Nick. And Maconi Setup Shop, of course, who sponsored Nick all year. So thanks to all them. Certainly we're very appreciative of any sponsorship on the car and all the work there. Shout out to Tom Morano, who's been super supporting the league, getting a merchandise store set up for after the turns. So be on the lookout for that in the future. If you want to wear some after the turns gear, I know our crew will be wearing some after the turns stuff. Danson's been begging for something to be bought for him for free.
Oh,
so it'll be
something. The Matt Danson shirt. I want them. I told you, I want the Matt Danson Winter Series Championship shirt. That's what I want, and hat.
Can we get a special? Hashtag free Matty D version for people to
free Matty D? Yeah,
that would be great.
I'll work on it. I'll make a logo. I'll pass it over to you for approval, and maybe we'll get that created. That'd be fantastic. I love it.
You've given him a great idea. You've given Matt another great idea.
Well, yes, great. A big thank you to Tom and Boosted for working on us on getting that set up as well. The Danson can't win on oval shirt. Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. Wow.
Anyway,
who am I? So now it comes to me. So obviously the superstar. Well, I honestly, like on a real note, for just a quick second, I apologize to the league as a whole for my I'm just a rookie. Oh, that was one of the best quotes ever. That was one of the best. I didn't even know what to say. Was it Thomas George? Wasn't it? He called me a rookie. I'm like, bruh, are you for reals?
We'll ask him about it next week on the show. Yeah.
I'd love to get his take. Like maybe for him, racing only occurs within the realm of RSR. There's no other iRacing for him outside of that. Anyway, so apologies to the league as a whole, Evan, everyone involved for my negligent move. On one hand, I agree with the suspension in some way, but I would think because of a good history, what I would have accepted as a more appropriate punishment would be a suspended ban. So, for example, a 2-race suspended ban, which means like any infraction that I would do within that 10-race span would immediately trigger the 2-race ban. So it's basically saying like, you know, it was bad. Exactly. But if you slip up, even if it's just a matter of if I bring out a yellow, they're like that triggers the 2-race, sort of deal. That to me would have been a more appropriate punishment, I feel. But hang on, what's Nick saying? Who knows?
Yeah, I was going to comment in the chat. So I think there's some ideas for Danson shirts. Maybe we'll go ahead. We'll work with Tom and Boosted. We'll create some designs, and we'll go ahead and let the fans vote on what we should publish as our next available Danson shirt. So I think there's some popular options out there.
But yeah, so no, but like I said, on a serious note, I apologize to everyone for sort of I guess bringing it into disrepute, as they say. And yeah, I guess bringing a negative sort of connotation upon my name, because I can understand what Drew's saying. You want to constantly have a a good representation of yourself, because it's you don't want to get a bad rep for anything. So I guess I haven't done myself much good there, because as much as I joke around on this, I do take the races seriously in the form of I'm not going there to try and mess around and wreck and all that sort of thing. So yeah, that's unfortunate, but thanks to you boys as well. Thanks Andrew for coming on, being a good sport, talking about all the different things. Thanks for not beating me in the Winter Series. And obviously the sponsors, Logitech G, Astro, Virtual Racing School, Cube Controls, Racetech Seats, and Owned Live.
Awesome. Well, I guess that's it. We'll have a post IROC edition, I guess us doing the broadcast edition next week. So that'll be a lot of fun. I'm excited for everything we have there. So I guess with that, I'm wrapping up. So call mercy. Thank you so much, Drew, for your time this week. I really appreciate it. Have a great night, everybody. Talk to you next week.